Greetings, everyone. My name is Cassandra Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates, founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. And I'm telling you, like most days these days, today has been a day of days. And I decided, though I had not planned, that I was going to do a live today. And I'm going to tell you why. So, first of all, let's get our business out of the way. As a matter of fact, I gotta do that. No, you know what? Yes, I am. Hold on, let me grab a book. All right, let me grab this book really quick because there's something I want to do before we get started. So let's get some business out of the way. I'm going to try to be a lot more disciplined than I have in the past about this, but I'm going to read Greetings, Carlotta, Creatrix, Z, Breath, Love, Troy. Greetings, everybody. I'm going to read our conspiracy because it's not only our conspiracy, it is a healthy reminder of who we are and what we're supposed to be about. Okay? I, Cassandra Floyd, as a peculiar expression of the almighty divine she, the great cosmic mother, now join in breath with my global family to conspire on behalf of the whole made well. We are breathing these words together now to ensure that our home, her body, is restored to her original perfect glory. Her glory is perfect in peace, love, bliss, happiness, and ecstasy. This world exists because we collectively will it so, right now. We, as the representatives of the mother's reign on earth, speak this beautiful conspiracy as a single cosmic earthly orchestra to guarantee heaven on earth in joyful compliance with our mother's divine will. Possessing the power of our mothers, we welcome and speak this glorious future now. It is certainly as we speak it, Mommy and I are one. This is the conspiracy of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. Okay? It's important that I start this way, and I am promising you that I will be more disciplined about starting that way every day. Because what today's message is about unity of will. Unity of will. And one of the things that is required to understand who is on the same page as you, who is serious about what they say they are about, is about establishing a process and a culture that guarantees and is always reminding us that unity of will is the only way forward. Unity of will. You understand? Greetings, knowledge born. Allah, how you doing, African? So let me tell you, this message that I am delivering to you tonight has been a long time coming. And I'll be honest, I have been putting it off for a long, long time. And every now and again, something will happen that will nudge me. You need to deliver this. You need to deliver this. And I'll be like, nah, I don't want to be too hard. You feel me? I don't want to come off too gruff. You feel me? For the last year, you know what? Housekeeping. If you have not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. Become a member if you would like to. There are different levels of membership. Become a member of Daughter of the Fates YouTube channel. There are also little things, you feel me, like little icons at the bottom of the screen, like super chat and all like the cute little icons where if you feeling what I'm saying in the moment, you can give me $1 or $2 or $5 or whatever the little dollar amounts for the little stars are across the bottom of the screen. Use those. Okay. Consider getting a reading with me. Consider getting a complete wellness program reading and consultation with me. Email me and put reading in the subject header or consultation in the subject header, and we can schedule an appointment. Email me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com. That's all the business I got for y'all. Support the channel, support the Temple of Evolutionary. When you support the channel, you're supporting the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence, because it's all I'm about. You feel me? It's all I'm about. Okay. Now let's get into it. This has been a long time coming, yo. And at least a year in the coming. And I have not organized for this. I have not taken notes for this. I have not prepared for this. This is on the fly because of some shit that happened today. And I was like, okay, this shit cannot wait any longer. It cannot. It cannot. So over the last year, I have been getting emails and comments on videos and the like, right? Usually sending me links to someone's page. Oh my God, you sound just like this person. Watch this video. Oh my God, you sound just like that person. Watch this video. Oh my God, you remind me so much of this person. Watch their video, right? That has happened a lot over the last year because my viewership has grown over the last year. Fine. Every single link that is sent to me, I watch. And for a long time, I'll be honest, because I try to be easy. You feel me? Let me tell you a little story. When I first moved here 6 years, it's a short story. When I moved here 6 years ago to California, I moved here with a certain worldview and a certain life experience that I thought was going to be really profound and helpful and help me get a lot of places here in California. You feel me? I had this long history as, a political activist, revolutionary. I had a long history, in medical school. And I also had a very long history in as a devotee of Ifa. So I had, this gamut, this wide array of life experience that I thought was going to really, serve me well out here. And in a lot of ways it did. But the one thing that I recognized right away was that everybody ain't the same. Everybody ain't the same. And everybody who thinks they are the same, their version of the same, ain't the same. You feel me? I came out here as a revolutionary. I came out here as a political activist of more than 20 years. You feel me? I came out here a pretty stilled devotee of a traditional African system. And I came out here with a medical degree, with 4 fucking degrees. So I was like, I'm covered. You feel me? But what I came to understand, especially moving in political circles, because I've always been convicted to this shit, yo. And so my first thing was like, yes, I'm going to work with indigenous people. I'm going to work with Mexican people. I'm going to work with anybody. You feel me? And so I get out here and I said, I'm not leading nothing. That was what I came out here. I was tired. I left the South leading this shit and that shit and this shit and that shit and being exhausted and not having anything to show for it. I said, I ain't leading shit. Now I'll commit a couple of hours here and there to people's programs, organizations and shit that I feel like I can get down with, that I unite with, but I ain't leading shit and I ain't committing to nobody organization. That was what I came out here with. I'll do all the volunteer shit, but I ain't committing to nobody's shit, right? And there was an organization that I started volunteering a lot with out here right away. And we would get into meetings. Now, I cut my teeth in a veteran organization. You feel me? So I was used to meetings happening in a certain way, and that shit wasn't happening like that out here. And so some of the shit that was happening in me, I was like, what the hell is going? These are revolutionary organizations. I hope this ain't gonna be the whole thing. This fucking StreamYard bullshit. All of a sudden, my StreamYard acting up every time I get on the live. Anyway, I was like, I'm in these meetings and I was trained a different way. And so I was like, okay, because I would get easily frustrated in these meetings. People in these meetings talking about their feelings and shit. And I'm like, that ain't what we here for. Like, we're here to get some work done. And it just feels like y'all feelings are a way to deflect from the work. Like, it was all crazy out here. You feel me? And so I was like, okay, let me pull way back. It is obvious that, there is a cultural difference in how activist slash revolutionary works out here as opposed to how it works and looks in the South or on the East Coast. So let me not be so rough around the edges, so hardcore that I cannot move in a way, that is culturally the norm out here. So, baby, I had to pull back the reins on a lot of what I had learned as an activist and as a revolutionary. And when I say revolutionary, bitch, I don't mean I heard some good videos on YouTube and decided one day I'm gonna fight the power. I'm talking about cutting my teeth at 26 years old in a revolutionary veteran cadre formation organization. Okay, working under motherfuckers who've been doing revolutionary work since the 50s. When I say veterans, I mean everybody I learned under and studied under at 26 was already 65 and older. That's what I mean. I mean, when I joined the party and started managing the party's health food store, they was like, people are going to want to come in here and talk to you because it's the only health food store in the poorest community in St. Petersburg. And when these newspapers and people start coming to you and wanting to talk to you, you cannot speak on behalf of the party. You cannot speak on behalf of the party. I was like, okay. They said, we will let you know when you are ready to speak on behalf of the party. In the meantime, when we at demonstrations, when you at the store, when you at the gym, you don't say nothing. You don't say nothing as a representative of the party. And then 3 years later of me keeping my mouth shut, 3 years later, the chairman came into the store one day and said, okay, you are going to lead the discussion this Sunday at the Sunday mass meeting. And up until then, I did exactly what the party said, what my leadership said. I kept my motherfucking mouth shut and learned and studied and made mistakes and fell on my face until the party said, okay, bitch, you ready to speak on behalf of the party, of the organization. Y'all don't get that. Y'all don't have that. So let me just tell you. The reason I'm telling you this story about, let me just read some of these comments real quick because these look good. I call a lot of these revolutionary entities and or personalities revolutionary whores, or at best revolutionary pimps. Often our people want to be revolutionary preachers and not practitioners. And say, you know what, brother? I ain't even that deep. Sometimes people get motivated and convicted to some shit and learn a lot of stuff, but they ain't had no kind of practical application of ideas they've just taken in. They say, I believe this, I believe that, I believe this. And there's not been any process of application and discernment. What ideas do I really accept that are mine and are applicable to me because this is the work that I've done to test these theories and these ideas in my head? They ain't got that. They got YouTube. That's what they got. You feel me? So anyway, I'm telling y'all this for a reason. I had to really temper my zeal. I really did. I really had to bring it down several notches in order for me to be a functional volunteer in these organizations, these established organizations whose lines I was like, yes, this project, this program, this thing, I can commit some time to. I'm not in a position of leadership inside your organization. So my opinion and how I am accustomed to doing shit don't matter anyway. I had to really reel that shit in. You feel me? Because shit out here is crazy. Especially shit fronting as revolutionary, or bitch, just say you an activist. Don't say you're a revolutionary because y'all ain't about that life. Out here, they ain't about that life. You feel me? So I said, okay, pull back the reins. And so I've been pulling back the reins for a long time. I have become accustomed of reeling it in and pulling in the reins to a fault, to my detriment, which brings us to why we're here today, which brings us to the topic and the title of this live is They Not Like Us and I'm Not Like Them. Okay. So let me tell you what the gist is. About a year ago, I started getting these videos because, the great cosmic mother is on everybody's lips now. You feel me? And that's okay. I'm here for it. Yes. Call her out. Call her out. Make her known every fucking where. When I read that book, The Great Cosmic Mother, Rediscovering the Religion of the Earth, that y'all know here on YouTube, that was my second time reading that book live. I read that book live from cover to cover on Facebook in 2019. And when I read it again in 2022, yes, the summer of 2022, that y'all all know, that was my second time reading that book live online. So I've been about this life. But I'm like, all right, everybody talking about the mother now. Let's go. Let's go. That was my attitude. So I started getting all these links and emails and shit. Oh, you need to check out this sister. She sounds just like you. Oh, you need to check out this brother. He sounds just like you. Oh, you need to check out this sister. She sounds just like you. And I watched every single link that had been sent to me. Every single one. And for me, my position was, having held back the reins, right? That's why I told y'all this story. I was like, you know what? Everybody ain't on the same level. Everybody's journey has not been the same length and has not taken the same trajectory. So I will reserve judgment and watch these videos and then be like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Get it. These young people coming to these conclusions on their own, you feel me? I ain't gonna sweat no black person getting it how they can get it, you feel me? So I was like, cool. Every time, there is not one time, I want y'all to hear me, there is not one time in the last year I have received a single video where somebody is like, oh my God, you sound like them. Oh my God, you sound like them. Where I watched the video and was like, yes, I can see exactly why they sent this video to me. Not one time. As a matter of fact, the opposite has happened. I watch these videos and I will be beside myself. I'll be like, damn, is that how people hear me? Is this how people hear and internalize what I am communicating? Because I'm hearing the shit and I'm like, this is not anything like what I'm communicating at all. 0%. 0%. But I said, okay, everybody is on these staggering levels of where they are in their consciousness, where they are in their understanding, where they are in their spiritual walk. So I give grace. But meanwhile, let's see. Hold on. Will Green Rosenberg is on one. He said, you see, I hardly join Instagram lives, only ever so seldom. Indeed, I am an engaged social activist and quite biased, perhaps with my focal activities revolved around Haiti to admit. Well, keep yourself logged on, Mr. Will Gaines Rosenberg. Keep listening. So anyway, so I was like, all right, I reserve judgment. Fact of the matter is people trying to work it out. People trying to understand. People are in these different places. People are trying to understand. As long as the great cosmic mother is out there, I'm with it. I'm about it, right? And I let that shit go and go and go and go and go and didn't say a word to anybody. Didn't challenge it until recently. Maybe the last 2 months, I've still been getting these videos, and so this video came to me maybe about 2 months ago, and before inquiring, this woman sent me this video and said, she didn't say, yeah, she said she sent a whole long email, whatever. Then she sent me the video, and I watched maybe 10 minutes, maybe not even, maybe 5 minutes of the video, and I emailed her back as gentle as I could and asked her what it was that she saw as a parallel between anything I've said. I've got more than 400 videos on my page in the last 4 years. Show me any parallel in what was in this video and what she's heard me say in a single video. I said, I don't know what it is that compelled you to send me this video, but I need to know what that was. I need to understand what people are hearing that they keep sending me these videos, right? She didn't respond. And I feel like, though it was not my intention, this is why I keep talking about the genteel holding back the reins, because people ain't really ready. You feel me? My intention was not to offend her. It was a genuine inquiry about what she saw as a parallel between anything I've ever said and what this video, the contents of this video was. All right. So I still didn't say anything. Then all hell broke loose about 3-4 weeks ago with this princella thing. This princella thing that apparently is still hot on the lips and minds and hearts of the many. And I even interjected, really bogarted, but it was offered, bogarted this live that was happening with Sister Erica De Niro TV and Sister Lotus Flower. They were talking about the princella thing, and how I guess people are calling princella a turncoat, how she done turned quote overnight into a pick-me or whatever, right? And it wasn't on my radar because she was one of the many videos that people had been sending me over the last year, and every time going against my intuition, because the first time I watched a single video, I was like, how is it that anyone can draw a parallel between me and this woman, and what, at least in terms of our content? How? I didn't see it. I said, you know what? Maybe I'm in my feelings. Let me go back on another day and watch another video. Maybe I'll see some in another video that I didn't see in the first video. I did that 3 times. And each of the 3 times, I couldn't make it through 10 minutes of this woman's videos. I said, no shade. You feel me? People living how they living. This girl got 250,000 followers. Get it how you can get it, boo. It ain't my cup of tea. It ain't what I'm on. But sisters obviously support the thing. Sisters obviously getting something from this woman. Cool. Get it how you get it. Do it. Live how you live, boo. You feel me? Because I'm not trying to like rain on nobody's parade. I ain't trying. Everybody don't have to believe what I believe. So that ain't nothing. So that's why I didn't say anything. But I knew right away, 5 minutes into the very first video that I ever saw, not only is she not like me, but this shit is suspect. That was my personal position. And I didn't put it out because she a Black woman out there getting it how she can get it. But I was always annoyed by how many, I cannot count on both hands how many times women have sent me links to this woman's videos. Oh my gosh, she remind me of you. How? Just how? That's me inside myself. You feel me? I was confused, bewildered, and dismayed. I'll be honest. Then this week, so since this whole princella thing broke loose, which I was not surprised. This whole princella thing broke loose 4 weeks ago. You feel me? And I said, okay. And so a couple of people reached out to me about it. And I was like, just what I'm telling y'all, I am not surprised. But the reason that I am not surprised is because when I talk about actionable discernment all the time here, all the time, I am talking to you about actionable discernment. I am talking to you about intuition that is not guided by superfluous, intangible bullshit. Your intuition is informed by your understanding. It is informed by your life experience. It is informed by your education. It is a culmination of information that comes together that helps you in an instant. All of those things come together and help to inform you of something. That is why I knew 5 minutes in she was with that bullshit. You feel me? So this thing break loose, and all of a sudden everybody in my inbox, in my TikTok, all over. Did you hear about Princella? She turned cold like she on some pick me shit. I was like, look, I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. And you don't have to have a crystal ball to see. You don't. To understand who people are. That's why I said they not like us and I'm not like them. We have to get into a position where we are able to discern in an instant who people are. Y'all think it's just for show. That's what y'all think. Y'all think that I get up on here, I just gave my cat's bath, so I got cat hair all in my damn hair and shit. I ain't did my goddamn roots in an age. I don't get on here. Even when I do the temple service, I'm not on here chanting mantras or doing sermons. I'm not performing for y'all. I will never do that. I will never do that. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to reiterate why I will never perform for you. It is because we are in an age where the fucking veil is removed, where the mask is off, where the costume is burnt, bitch, and in the trash. If you cannot accept that God can show herself in me, through me, fat and drinking liquor and smoking a joint, and you know she is still present, then you will always be betrayed by some fucking charlatan dressing up and performing for you all the time. Y'all want, and I know I'm not criticizing you because I've been there, man. I fell for the shit. We leave these goddamn institutions. We leave the church. We leave the Nation of Islam. We leave all this weird ass shit. But we want to still superimpose all the culture, all the fucking fanfare, all the pomp and circumstance that comes with it. So we go into every other space looking for that and can't figure out why we get betrayed every single goddamn time. Every time. I did it. I went that way. I had not been in the church in 12 years and still went into EFA the same way, caught up in the performance of spirituality, caught up, babe, led the fuck astray by the pomp and circumstance, by the fucking costumes, by the outfits, by the African attire. You understand? And I'm not going to do it. This may not be for everybody. That's okay. But when I'm telling you that no matter where I am, she is with me, that's what it means. That's what this period means. That's what the era means. When I say to you, mommy and I are one, we are not apart. In my flesh, my spirit is no more important than my flesh. My flesh is just as much God as my spirit is. I will never perform for you. That does not mean that I am not engaged in ceremony, that I am not engaged in ritual, that I do not perform ritual in my house, that when it is appropriate, I will perform ritual out in the world. But the ritual is not where God is, babe. The ceremony is not in the anipi. The ceremony is you. The ritual is you. These are instruments to help you tap in. And so, y'all, I get sent this bullshit several times because what happened? Let me tell you what happened with Priscilla. Let me tell y'all what y'all are suffering from. Y'all are suffering from betrayal, is what you are suffering from. You are suffering from betrayal. Because what she did, and I don't have to know the ins and outs. I know the state, baby. I know the police. I know police activity and behavior. And even if someone is, I tell y'all this all the time, even if somebody is not consciously an agent of the state, their behavior always benefits the state. Their behavior benefits the state, whether they're a conscious agent or not, whether they're a provocateur or not. If their behavior is antagonistic towards, if their behavior is destructive towards oppressed people, colonized people, run down people, then they function on behalf of the state. Whether they know it or not, that's what they're doing. There's no way, this was my personal opinion, this woman can have 250,000 followers talking about the shit she talk about. Some of the shit is really like over the top, like way over the top. You know what I'm saying? I haven't even heard all the videos because, like I said, 5 minutes of 3 videos and that was done. But I have heard others say, well, she do be getting kind of out there. She be talking about how men, the only way they can serve the goddess is to be slaves to women. She talk about, sometimes, you feel me? She'd say, well, if you a woman and you find out you pregnant with a son, you need to kill him. Y'all ain't never heard me say anything remotely that fucking ludicrous and insane. Not even close. Not even close. You can't separate out. You can say some really raggedy ass, crazy, insane shit over here, but because she say the great cosmic mother every now and again, y'all sound the same? Child, So I reject it all. It all. The reason why is because actionable discernment would have you know a person's behavior all the time. And I'm not just talking about my YouTube channel. Y'all see me all the time. Y'all are all on my Facebook channel. I post every picture of my whole life. Y'all know I was just at a punk rock concert 2 weeks ago. I ain't gonna have no shit from y'all. Some of y'all be like, that black woman, what black woman you know go to a punk rock festival? I do. Because I'm me all the motherfucking time. All the time. All the time. I'm me behind closed doors. I'm me in my relationship with my family. I'm me all the time. And I show y'all that all the time. Because you ain't never going to have me out here put on display for betraying us. I'm not going to do it. That's why I ain't caught up with the fanfare and shit. So that happened, right? Y'all are betrayed. And the reason I make a parallel to the state is this. Is because the state knows what we're doing, even if we have not internalized how important it is yet. I'm telling you. The state knows what we are doing, even if you have not internalized how important you are yet. I have been doing revolutionary work since 2001. I know the state, baby. I done seen white men in suits digging in my motherfucking trash in the middle of Southside St. Pete, trying to intimidate bitches. I know the state, subtly and overtly. I know the state and how they move. And so whether y'all internalize how important you are or not, they do. Why do you think seemingly out of nowhere, everybody talking about the goddess, everybody talking about the great cosmic mother, everybody talking about the reemergence of the matriarchy, just seemingly out of the blue, in a year, less than a year, everybody talking about because of algorithms, because of how many times we type Sybils into a motherfucking whatever with a hashtag or what the state knows. And so all of a sudden, every weirdo and their mama coming out the woodworks trying to corner the discussion on the goddess and the matriarchy and the great cosmic mother. But do you think that that's enough? What is it that you think we engaged in? What is it that you think that I'm trying to do? Because what I am trying to do is challenge the state. A lot of y'all, that ain't what y'all on. And the evidence of which is that you can draw a parallel between me and this woman. That you can draw a parallel. Somebody sent me a video this week of a white guy, an old white British dude with a PhD in archaeology talking about, what we need to do is empower women so that they can reestablish the matriarchy, in his British accent with his fucking tie and his gray hair. And some black woman sent that to me this week. And I asked her, I said, why did you send me this? She was like, because everything you be saying, he's saying it. I said, so fucking what? And what? And what does it mean for this white guy with a PhD from Oxford talking about the matriarchy is the only way forward for humanity and shit? And let me just tell y'all something, because y'all will get caught up in what is coming out of a person's mouth and forget who the state is. What does some white guy with a PhD from Oxford talking about the matriarchy and empowering South American women, what does that have to do with what we're doing? Especially if what he says is not preceded by, I want to first say that my mentors are the organization that I support, the group of Black women that I have learned from. The way that I have come to this conclusion is watching the peculiar struggles of women of color around the world. This is how I have come to this conclusion. If it ain't prefaced by that, he is the state. He is looking to distract, to detract attention from us to somewhere the fuck else. Everybody is positioning themselves to be in front of this discussion about the inevitable reemergence of the goddess. Everybody is positioning themselves. And the problem is, Princella is a prime example of it. All of these women in particular, not just women, but primarily women over the last 6 months since I started doing readings pretty regularly, I am amazed by how many women who say, this is my first time ever getting any divination of any kind. I just came out to church 6 months ago. I just got out to church 4 months ago. I've only been out to church 2 years, and I'm still on this journey trying to understand, because nobody where I'm at is talking what I'm talking about or thinking how I'm thinking, and I feel isolated out in the world. I was married to a preacher for 25 years. I just got out of church 6 months ago. More and more and more. But this has been an ongoing thing. 4 or 5 years ago, what was it? The New York Times said that Ifa, the Yoruba tradition, Ifa is the fastest growing religion in the United States of America. Don't you know the state knows that? That Black people, the people that they rely on most to stay hogtied to the state through the churches, are hightailing it out to church. This represents a political problem for them, for Black people to be leaving the church by the hundreds of thousands every year. I've been clear for years about what it is I'm looking at politically. This is not just a spiritual question. Black people leaving the goddamn church, looking desperately for something that serves them spiritually. So with the hightailing it out of the church, you have an increase of fucking spiritual charlatans up inside these same circles, babalawos and all the like, looking to exploit people in their time of desperation. Now, here it is, because I became a practitioner of E5 15 years ago. You feel me? And I knew it then politically because I had a political eye. Even the ELA that I was in, they didn't understand what they were looking at because they had never had the experience of the church. One, they were born in the tradition, and two, they had no political understanding, background, or history whatsoever. So when those of us who came into E5 with a political background, with a revolutionary background, trying to understand how to bridge this chasm between African spirituality and African revolutionary movement, they didn't understand, but we knew, we were crystal clear about what it was we were witnessing. These charlatans, these vagabonds, being able to hide up in spiritual spaces because they know the prayers, they know the dances, they know the tradition, and exploit and oppress and commit crimes against the victims of the goddamn church. Here they leave one institution that done ran their ass regularly to jump both feet first into another. And here we are again. The same trajectory again, years later. What all people got to do is lay the fuck up on YouTube and drop some buzzwords, the Sibyls, drop some buzzwords, the mother, drop some buzzwords, the great cosmic mother. And everybody flocks and everybody flocks. But you know, it's not just the buzzwords. It's the pomp and the circumstance. It's the performance. You know, it's the extra. It's all that shit. Y'all get caught up on that shit. And you hear the catchphrases. You hear the buzzwords. And you hear the buzzwords and you say, oh, they sound like this person over here, Cassandra. But I guarantee you, all them people that have sent me videos talking about you sound like this person, 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 though they heard it from me first, I guarantee you they ain't sent no email to them same people say, oh, you know, you sound like Cassandra. Oh, you know, you sound like Cassandra. Oh, you know, you sound. I bet that hadn't happened in both directions. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. And I'm not mad about it. What I am is concerned. I am concerned, man. Because this woman got 250,000 followers. I sat on a live of hers one night, and on a live, this girl had 3,000 people watching her live madness. The content was madness, and they were jolly on the spot. 3,000 people. You understand? And so now, all these people wandering about the fucking country, trying to figure out where they can go, where they will not again be betrayed. And this girl has betrayed 250,000 avid listeners and followers. Let me tell you, I mean what I say. I mean what I say. This shit that y'all have been conditioned to accept. When I talk about the great cosmic mother, when I talk about the reemergence of the one, when I talk about that, I am not talking about make-believe. I'm not talking about mythology. I tell you all the time, when I say mommy and I are one, I mean that. I mean that. I mean, anything that you expect that is going to happen in the material realm to change our collective lived experiences is going to happen at our hands. Her will made real through our execution, through our hands, through our energy, through our united will. That's it. We can't say pass go. We can't be like that shit. We ain't gonna be on our motherfucking knees praying to some mythological god somewhere. That's not what I'm on. And so if that's what you about, if you about thinking that this shit that I'm talking about is some like make-believe fairy tale off the fuck over there somewhere shit that we trying to execute, when I talk about a world made whole, when I talk about how I am fighting like hell for a world where everybody born is guaranteed sovereignty from the time they are born to the time they take their last breath. I am talking about individual sovereignty under the banner of the mother. I am talking about that can only happen when we are in a real ass contest with that which has prevented it. I'm always talking to y'all about building institutions of dual and contending power. I mean that. That's a political statement as well as a spiritual statement. That's what my spirituality teaches me, is that spirituality is embodied. Everything the body experiences informs the spirit. You can't be super spiritual, fucked up, oppressed, abused, downtrodden, run the fuck over, can't pay your bills, can't even think straight, talking about you spiritual, you spiritually enlightened. You feel me? Nah, that ain't what I'm talking about. So y'all need to be very clear. I thought I was articulating all these years with clarity what it is I'm about. You understand? Because we're not gonna win sitting around waiting for some great cosmic mother to just appear in a fucking vapor in the sky to rescue us. That's not what I'm about. That's not what the mother is about. That's not what we're talking about here. That's not what we're talking about here. The state knows what we're doing, what we're planning, what we're saying. Right now, is this. Is right now, the temple work, me building the temple, is trying to do and execute as many events as I can locally to build something that looks like a committee locally. I've done so many events since the new year started. I feel like I'm transparent. Like, child, I'm running on fumes. I got 2 more going. I got 2 more events that I'm organizing just this month. This month is already over. 2 more events this month, 2 in July, 1 in August, 1 in September. This is the process that I'm engaged in. It ain't just me talking to y'all on motherfucking YouTube. You feel me? And it is about building institutions of dual and contending power. It's not about protesting and demonstrating, because that shit ain't winning us nothing. I promise you. I promise you it is going to win us nothing. Building institutions of dual and contending power is the only way to challenge the state in a way that they will respond to, that they will hear. Whatever it is you say you do not want to see continue, build its opposition. That's it. Now, I'm going to shut up for a minute because I asked my homeboy, who I've known a very long time, 20 years I've known this African. We were in the organization together. We were in the International People's Democratic Uhuru movement. You feel me? I was in the party. I don't think Abasi ever joined the party, but we were in Uhuru together. You feel me? And so I trust this African. He is also, this is the first time y'all are seeing him. He is also one of the members of the founding committee of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. I keep getting on because I'm like, people need to know who you are, especially since you're the only man on the founding committee. But so I'm going to introduce my brother Abasi, Kamara Steppin Razor, to the call. Peace, African. How you doing? I can't hear you. Let me unmute.
Oh, yeah. I'm good.
I'm good. Okay. Peace, African. How you doing?
I'm great. How's everything?
Ain't nothing to it but to do it.
Right on.
So, so first of all, since this is the first time people are even seeing you, tell people a little bit about who you are and what your background is.
Yeah. My name is Abasi Kamara. Like she said, I was in the International Democratic Uhuru movement, and then from there, I'm still a member of the Ojima People's Progress Party here in Maryland. We're just a Black grassroots organization who's also trying to get on the ballot to interject our perspective in that area. And I'm also a member and on the board of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. Like she said, years ago, she read. I think it was last year, year before last. She had the book reading of the Great Cosmic Mother, and it challenged me. You know what I mean? She challenged me personally, like just because we comrades and great friends. Like she stepped on my toes, challenged me. I'm a heterosexual male. You know what I mean? But just getting the different history matters. Um,
Yes.
we can't look at pieces of things and and we can't get an understanding of it. A lot of people in the African cultural movement, we kind of start at Egypt and we kind of start from there and we move forward and we talk about the Greeks and the Romans. But we don't know prior to Egypt, it was a matriarchy. And that's what it was, you know what I mean? Like that's a part of history that's not talked about. And learning about that part of history and still learning about it, it evolved my perspective on life and on my just on my ideas as a man. It still challenges me as a man, as a father. I often got to check myself. I allow my daughter to check me. Um, but yeah, so and I'm still evolving. But I think one of the most important things that Cassandra said is that the temple uh, is a direct challenge to the state. Um, One of the advantages of having a political background is it enables us to kind of know when people are trying to co-opt certain
Yes.
movements and try to
Yes.
get in front of it. Because, like she said, the state will allow you to protest. The state will they they know that they're dealing with a pressure valve, so they'll give you some space to do that. But
Yes.
like she said, the when you start to build dual and contending institutions, um, that's when they know that you're working because they know that the people's loyalty to their institutions is because there are no alternatives. Um,
Yes.
and that's what we're trying to do is that's what we have done is, but we're trying to strengthen um, the institution.
Yes.
And it's funny that we said this because I was just having this conversation earlier. Me and one of my comrades was talking about Cuba, and I haven't really been following the news. I've been kind of having just an informational overload. But um, we were talking about as far as whether or not it's if capitalism in the West are having a dominant influence. But the one thing I said I don't know. But the one thing that I do know about Cubans is that they know they're not willing to give up that free healthcare, and they know they're not willing to give up that free education. But these are two lasting legacies of the revolution, two like really institutions that are entrenched. That
Hmm.
regardless of which influence that might be coming to, you know, uh, try to topple them, they know they're able to see the polarization between what they have and what's out there, and that's one of the things that we have to really uh, especially doing this work to be able, like she said, to discern of, who's who and who's not. Because, like she said, a lot of people are leaving the church, and that creates. And if there's no institutions grounded to be able to receive that, you're going to have these feeders or these vampires and parasites that come swallow them right up. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Become the dominant uh, expression of what it is we're trying to represent.
Yes. 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 Right on. Right on. Right on. Everything you said. Yes. Right on. And I will even say this: the the fact that you just brought up Cuba. I'm gonna tell you, this walk with the mother has had me reevaluate every position that I ever had as a revolutionary. Because yes, to the Cuban Revolution, but here we are. What shit? 50 plus years after the Cuban Revolution, and I will be honest. Given what we understand, and given some of the things that, because of people that I know personally, I haven't been to Cuba, but I have many Cuban friends, people born and raised in Cuba, who say that yes to the revolution, yes, all things Cuba, right? but can still recognize the very real shortcomings of the social structure in Cuba right now, many of them being patriarchal and anti-Black.
And you would think it would be, when you talk about solving problems, like just from a basic perspective, you have a whole population of human beings that you're not, that gave birth to the world, that you're not even tapping into as far as trying to solve problems. And it begs the question, are we, under this patriarchy, are they really trying to solve problems?
Let me tell you something. When we go back to the Great Cosmic Mother, I think it was in, I forget what chapter it is, she actually talks about the emergence of liberation theology in South America, right? And she talks about some of these liberation struggles and how liberation theology played out in South America. Hold on, let me see if I can find this all quick like. But one of the things that she listen, she said, can Christianity truly be revolutionary? So I'm gonna go on, but I thought about that because here, the other thing she talks about in the chapter of the machine, when she talks about how the primary weakness of socialist and communist revolutionary movements that they've never to date come to terms with is the fact that that the centrality of the women's struggles to a truly proletariat struggle, that it has to be center, that it has to be the center question. Why? Why does it have to be the center question? You remember why she said?
Why women have to be the center question?
In any truly revolutionary
Because
movement?
because they are the producers of the bodies that are going to be part of society, because everything starts with them, like they are.
She said what did she say? There's a quote. She said the first I don't want to misquote. The first what did she say? The first labor is women's labor, and no worker can be exploited. No worker is exploited before his mother is exploited, or something to that effect. You remember that quote? Let me see if I can find that shit real quick. Patreon, blah, 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 blah. Oh, where'd she say that? Because she was like, even well in classic, here it is. Is this it? Yes. Classic labor organization strategy, long dominated by males, has been reluctant to consider the political importance of working women's issues and has been contemptuous of the theory put forth by socialist and Marxist women that female productive and reproductive labor is the primary producer of wealth and must be so structured into any effective labor theory and practice. Classic revolutionary strategy, long dominated by males, has been equally reluctant to consider the political primacy of female issues and equally contemptuous of the idea that a revolution should be mounted on the issue of women's oppression and liberation. With the spread of the global factory and the consequent merger of women's reproductive issues with female workers' issues among a planetary, multinationally controlled workforce of primarily exploited women, these classic labor, left, and revolutionary political male attitudes and positions have got to change. In the present situation of if males do not join with women workers to fight for female reproductive autonomy along with workers' rights, then males have no other place to go except to join the National Guard, the SWAT teams, the goon squads, gearing up everywhere to help colonize and exploit their own countrywomen as slave workers and breeding machines. These are the only two options left for political men or in a totally politicized world for all men. So long as governments can control female reproduction in any way, the workforce can be equally controlled. Vice versa, it will be possible for governments and global corporations to totally control populations of workers so long as they are able to control populations of females as breeding machines or non-breeding machines. No one can be free unless females are free to control our own sex and our own reproduction. If we do not control our bodies, they are controlled by the boss, and that keeps the boss in power forever. Listen, some slaves can dominate and exploit the slavery of others, the classic imperialist situation, but no one will have a chance to be ontologically free. This is no longer the logic of feminism alone. It has expanded to become the inner logic of the multinational corporate marketplace, and consequently a global factory structure and operations in relation to the international workplace. Didn't we just have this conversation a couple days ago?
So can you explain?
Daily?
So can you explain how the temple is different from a lot of these about how the direct challenge to the state incorporated with the spirituality, incorporated, you know what I mean, with the history, how that is different from what we're seeing in reference to this lady and all these other cultural charlatans, because I think people really need to understand the difference and the reaction from the state that's going to happen because of the difference.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you. That's a great question. Because at the end of the day, when I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I did not read 4 times The Great Cosmic Mother for leisure, because it sounded nice and it made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. When you and I and the other women that are on the founding committee walked through this book with a fine tooth goddamn comb, and it took like 6 months for us to walk through this book as the book club, and then you guys came on board to say, okay, look, like, what's up? Like, what next? Like, what we gonna do next? We gonna build this motherfucking temple is what we're gonna do. And what does it mean? What does it mean to be? So when I tell people I don't identify as a socialist anymore, their first question is, well, like, what are you, right? And I say that I'm a sovereign world visionary. I'm an architect of the future right now, in the moment, in the present, right? And because and I've talked about this before, but even the whole question of national sovereignty, I've been in these organizations, many of them, that preach to the rooftops about national sovereignty. We want sovereignty for red people, and we want sovereignty for indigenous people, and we want sovereignty for Mexican people, and we want sovereignty for Africans, and, you know, Africa for the Africans, those at home and those abroad, right? And this shit sound really good. But within these organizations, patriarchy reigns supreme. So while these institutions, these organizations who may mean well in their philosophy, talking about the urgent need for national sovereignty, while inside the organization denying sovereignty to women, denying sovereignty to children, functioning in real time like the grand old patriarchs they always have been, and cannot figure out how we have not moved forward in a really substantial way, right? And so when I'm talking about building institutions of dual and contending power, I've already been involved in that, to watch men destroy what I built, right? I keep going back to, and it's not in lament, it is about me constantly analyzing what I have been through. So me building the first annual Black Power Awards, seeing crystal clear what the potential of that institution could be, how successful it was, a goal of 325 people and 800 people show up, 800 plus people show up, Black people from all over the goddamn planet, right? To see, especially in that moment, what the potential was in a unity of will, right? With a direction, a clear direction. We left the Black Power Awards, had a nice time for 2 or 3 days, and nothing of its magnitude reproduced. To me, that was the state. That dude who paid me to organize that event, he was the police, if you have me tell it. Even if he was not a conscious agent of the state, his behavior benefited the state at the expense of the 823 people who participated in building that institution. You feel what I'm saying? So, and then the other thing I'll say is, having gone through these extremes, having been, a Christian and raised in Christianity, having been a revolutionary in a veteran organization for 12 years, having been a devotee of Ifa, having raised children, having spent 10 years in medical school, this is like all of the frames of reference that inform me in any given moment. So while people who are just coming out of the church, let me tell you what Princella did. What she did was she saw a market. She saw a market. She saw a group of people, because it's on everybody's tongue. She saw a group of people hightailing it out the church, because they've been statistics. 100,000 women are the most likely to lead the church. These have been articles, headlines in newspapers for the last 6-7 years. 100,000 Black people done left the church to go into, African spiritual, cultural traditions and religions. You feel me? She saw a market. And so what she did in that market was galvanize and corral women's righteous rage, because that's what she tapped into. That's what she exploited. Like, that's what she spoke to. When you listen to her content, at least a little bit that I've listened to and what I've heard others say, her content is very like, you know what I'm saying? It's like tapping into this primal, collective, legitimate, just rage that African women have, Black women in America have, but taking them nowhere, yielding them nothing but a fix in the moment. So she goes live, they get their fix. She goes live, they get their fix. She goes live, they get their fix. And then when she turns around and inevitably betrays them, they're left bewildered. And where do we direct our rage now? Where do we put that shit now? Because it wasn't no Black dude that betrayed us. It was a Black woman that betrayed us. Don't you know that the state they already been working on you? They've already, for the last 15 years, every now and again, sliding some negress into a position of power, having you big the negress up, even though she is openly don't have any of your worldviews, don't have any of your interest at heart, don't have anything even closely related to who you are, but because she Black in this position of power, your heartstrings pulled at. You feel me? And you're like, oh my God, it's the first Black woman on the Supreme Court. But her interests don't match yours in anything she's ever said and anything she's ever done. What's the woman name? Condoleezza Rice was the first one, the first big one. And that she was born in my state, child. She was born in Birmingham. You feel me? But it didn't matter. Condoleezza Rice. Next one was the woman. What's her name? Oh, I can't. But and let me tell you, there's a tendency. There is a tendency. If you look, the tendency is they aren't getting light skin, mixed race, weave wearing Black women to take these positions of power. Name one in the last 15 years, in the last 20 years, that has been a light skin attempting to white appease, mixed race, weave having, any of the contact wearing Black woman in these positions of power. When they put that woman, I cannot remember her name off the top of my head, but it was under Trump's administration. They made her They made her the head of the EPA. This black woman with braids all the way down her back, dark as me or darker, had been the CFO of Monsanto for 20 years. They make her the head of the EPA under Trump's administration. But all we do is get caught up about some black woman that looked like us. That was what Michelle Obama was. That was her role, is to be the dark-skinned black woman that everybody could relate to. Well, at least his husband black. I mean, at least his wife black. I'm gonna vote for him because at least his wife black. You feel me? I heard that shit.
And more recently, the sister that they're using to vote in the UN.
Yes. Yes. So don't you know, these are responses to. But if you don't care about politics, if you don't care about political history, I had somebody tell me that. Well, you know all the history. I mean, that everybody ain't gonna learn that. That's why y'all stay getting caught up. That's why y'all stay getting trapped in these scenarios where you be confused when you get betrayed because you don't give a fuck about history. So let me tell you something else. There's another video that got sent to me many times since this thing jumped off with Princella. Many, many, many times. I know y'all gonna be in y'all feelings about it, and that's okay. This video was sent to me, and it is the content creator is Mama T, but she has like posted all like a 1, 2, 3, and 4 part 1, 2, 3, and 4 of this old video from this woman called what is it called? The Message to the Sun Woman. The Message to the Sun Woman. And that has been getting hundreds of thousands of views over the last 2 weeks. And so many of you have sent me this video. Finally, I had a conversation with a homegirl of mine who I value. I value her opinion. I've known her for some time. And I said, and she sent it to me. And so I called her. I said, I have an opinion about this video. I'm assuming that's why you sent it to me. But I want to know why you sent it to me. I want to know what it is about this video, what you wanted me to take away from this video. And she said exactly what people have been saying to me for the last year about other people's videos. She sounded like you. There were moments in the video that just reminded me of what you've been saying, whatever. I told her, I said, I am going to be frank with you because I trust you. And we've known each other long enough that you know that anything that I say out of love. I said, so I'm going to tell you. I watched the video already. It's been sent to me several times. I said, but I didn't have to watch the video. When I tell you, I didn't have to watch 10 seconds of the video to know that it was nothing that I would ever co-sign on. The message to the Sun Woman. First of all, the title was enough for me to know it was about to be on some bullshit. I'm gonna just tell you, the title was enough for me to know because why? Not because of my intuition, because of my lived experience. The title was enough for me to know this is about to be some bullshit. However, steady giving everything the benefit of the doubt, I turned it on and saw the garb. I saw the Nefertiti hat and all of the Egyptian Kemetic stuff in the background. 2-3 seconds in, I said, yes, that's my confirmation. This is about to be some bullshit. I watched the whole video. My spirit irritated the whole time. My spirit was irritated watching it. And I still debated about whether or not I was even going to mention it in the video. Because again, I ain't trying to hate on what people doing. But I do not like the idea that people are being led astray. So I talked to the sister. I told her, I said, I told her just what I told y'all. I knew seeing the title before hearing a single word, this was about to be some bullshit. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Because I know who this is. I don't know this woman personally, but I know who she's associated with. This video is old. The video's got to be at least 25, 30 years old, right? The video I could put that shit on mute and tell you what it was about. because this is a video coming from the Nuwaubian Nation. And because you do not know history, you will hear some shit that sound flowery and good and think they own what you own. But if you don't understand, this is just recent history. I ain't even telling you to study the goddamn history of the world. I mean, Malachi York only been in prison, what, 15 years? Or some shit? I ain't even talking about ancient history. You know what I'm saying? But if you refuse to learn, I ain't telling you to be astute. I'm not. I'm saying study history. So I talked to the sister about the history of the Nuwaubian Nation. Why Malachi York is in prison. And even though you still have some little followers floating around the cabin, I knew women who were in the Nuwaubian Nation, who were in the little town they built in the middle of nowhere, Georgia. And why, how Malachi York destroyed. Let me tell you something. I tell y'all often that men cannot be in positions of power if they are not held accountable to a body of women. This is historically accurate. I tell y'all, I've given y'all examples of this, how even the Ifa tradition has changed. And that's why the shit look the way that it looks, is because none of these so-called men in positions of power are held accountable to the Iami. None of them. Nowhere, not even on the continent. There is no council of elder women holding these men accountable. I talked to y'all just last week about this saying. I reiterate it all the time. Beware the madness of the king. Y'all familiar with this? There are different instances throughout history of what happens when a male acquires power that is not accountable to anything. It is boundless, limitless power. It literally drives them insane because there is nothing they can't get away with. There is nothing that power does not allow them to do. And so their default is malignancy with unbridled power, with unanchored power. I talk to y'all about that all the time. And so Malachi York is an example of that. Malachi York is an example of brilliant potential, boundless, unbelievable vision, using charisma to build a whole nation. What they built in Georgia was incredible. I saw it with my own eyes. And now you can go down there. The town wasn't but 45 minutes from where I grew up. Now you go down there and these motherfucking white people have wiped that shit off the map. There is no edifice left standing where they built this city, where they bought, 125 acres of land and built a whole city. Not only did they build a whole city, they strategically took every political position of office in the town to start serving Black interests in the city, in the actual city, even people who weren't, quote, Nuwaubians. And because his power, unchecked, unanchored, unbound, unbridled, unaccountable to the people, he did exactly what every so-called cult leader does who may start out as a good person with good ideas. He did exactly what they all do, become a malignant tyrant who sets his sight on oppressing women and children. That's exactly what he did. And not a few years after his ass went to jail, his son went to jail for the same fucking malignant behavior, terrorizing young women and all kind of shit. So I don't need to hear nothing, no woman dressed up like Nefertiti with all this African beautiful Egyptian shit in the background when I know who that organization was and what it did to hundreds of women and children. Because anything coming out of her mouth is a repetition of something put into her by this malignant motherfucker who ran that whole institution. You have to know the history because it's not safe. That's why y'all got caught up with Princella. Y'all love the way people talk, but you don't investigate. Is this their life? Does what they say out their mouth match their behavior in the real world? Or is this pomp and circumstance I'm looking at? Is this a show that I am witnessing? Is this a performance that I am participating in? You understand? And so here we are, listening for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, weeks and weeks and weeks, people feeling betrayed by Princella, just like it was Nature Boy, but because the reason they don't have a spirit of discernment is because they don't have a lived experience and an understanding of history that would help them, that would help inform them about who they are looking at any given time. I remember years ago, I was still in medical school, so maybe 15 years ago, This young dude, I'd heard whispers of this guy making a name for himself, but this young brother that I was doing some political work with in Florida, he's like, yo, my name was Iapo at the time. He was like, yo, Iapo, have you heard about this brother? What's this dude's name? Polite, brother Polite, right? He was like, yeah, he's garnering a big following. I really, I really appreciate what he's talking about, whatever. Listen, let me tell y'all something. That brother got so mad at me because I only heard whispers about Polite. I watched a singular video of Polite early in his little career. You feel me? I said, this brother called me and said, yo, can the next event you do, can we reach out to brother Polite and see if he can come down here and speak? I said, nah, not on no mic that I hold. Not on no stage. I'm not on no stage. I'm over. No. He was like, why? I really appreciate what he talking about. He talking about, raising up the Black woman. These are catchphrases, baby. These are the new swords that everybody is wielding to continue to slay women. Wasn't no different than 15, 20 years ago when it was peace, queen, peace, empress, greetings, goddess, peace, sistren. Objective is still the same, bitch. I'm trying to get in your drawers. But now you done disarmed the woman of her natural suspicion. It ain't like, yo, girl, you know what I'm saying? Your ass look fat in them jeans. Like, can I get your number? You feel me? They ain't coming like that. That's honest. You know what I'm saying? Then the sister can say, yeah, you cute. You can get my number. Hell no, get the fuck out my face, right? No, that ain't it no more. Now you disarm a bitch because she ain't heard nobody refer to her as queen, empress, goddess, sistren. And so it was a whole thing for the first decade of the century. Women disarmed in the movement, in political spaces, because they think these brothers are really about that life because they got this new silver tongue. They speaking this pretty shit. I really love Africa. You know what I'm saying? I really love African people. I just want to see us free. But their behavior didn't match a goddamn thing they were saying out of their mouth. They love Africa, but terrorize African women, abuse African women in political spaces. You understand what I'm saying? This is what has informed me about who people are. I don't trust shit coming out. But you know what? My discernment is deeper than that. Because you can say some shit that sound like what you think Cassandra sound like. And I still call bullshit. Give me 3 seconds. Bitch, you lying. You lying. I know your life don't match what you saying. You lying. You lying. You lying. And I knew she was lying the first time somebody sent me a video. I did. I knew it. But I kept quiet because I'm too gentle. I kept quiet because I ain't trying to step on no Black woman money. You feel me? Come on in the room, Shauna Michelle. Grifting at its finest. Absolutely yes. Everybody ain't younger than us. A rising divine beauty. Everybody ain't younger than us. Everybody ain't. Some of these grifters is old enough to know better. You feel me? And so I had to get that off my chest because I had spent too much time forgetting. And I'll tell y'all, what you need to do is go back to the videos I did maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago on the political shit. Y'all like to hear me get fired up. Y'all like to hear me talk about the goddess. Y'all like to hear, Mary Daly come in and jack a jaw every now and again. But Mary Daly was a political activist. Mary Daly was a revolutionary. That's why it's so hard on us, because that is some scary shit. It is scary to contemplate the inevitable. The inevitable is we are going to have to go toe to toe with the fucking state. That's the inevitable. We cannot coexist with this monstrous institution. We can't. And so when I am talking about the great cosmic mother, I am clear that it is a spiritual battle that we are engaged in. It is an economic battle that we are engaged in. It is a political battle that we are engaged in. It is an artistic battle that we are engaged in. It is a matter of life and death. It is a health battle that we are engaged in, that nothing will be made well while this institution fucking remains. Nothing will be made well. And so when I'm talking about the temple of evolutionary emergence and the inevitable emerging of the goddess, I am talking about men, women, all the genders in between, young people, old people, black, white, red, yellow, and whatever other spectrum of hues that exist between the poles. We all are going to have to get our hands fully engaged in the constructing of the fucking future. That is there ain't no sidestepping this shit. There ain't no fence straddling. There is no gray area. There ain't no hiding space. None of that. We have to, this is side choosing time. And the reason that people like Princella with her 250,000 followers gets 250,000 followers is still that kind of messiah complex that we hold on to. Somebody else gonna do it. Somebody, the charge is for somebody else, not little old me. Not little old me. I'm just one person. Not little old me. Like she the one. He the one. No, boo, it's you. It's you. If you listening, it's you. If you listening, it's you. The call has been made on you. Every last the fuck one of you have been called. Every last one. I ain't no guru. I'm not a messiah. I'm not trying to be. I built an institution because I heeded a call. That's all. It is a space to teach you how to see how I see, to teach you how to hear what I hear, to help you to understand what it feels in your body when she takes a hold of you. And then she don't just take a hold of you so you have a motherfucking spiritual experience. She said, now, bitch, what you gonna do? With this information I done gave you, with this ass kicking I done gave you, me and your ancestors, what you gonna do? Because this shit is old and we ready. What you gonna do? What, you was gonna say something, Abasi?
No, I was going to say that one of the major differences between the temple and a lot of these other entities is that they have this kind of separation thing. Well, like, it's, and I mean, as far as like men, they like bash men and all this other stuff. And what that does is, especially like in things like YouTube, it takes what we're trying to do, which is bring together, you know what I mean? And if accountability hurts your feelings, then it just hurts your feelings. But we're trying to bring together. But what they're doing is capitalizing off of this linear view
Yes.
of what the matriarchy is about. It's not about bashing men. It's about rediscovering a piece of history and science and archaeology and spirituality. And it's uncomfortable, but it's something that we have to work through. I don't feel any less of a man or
That
whatever,
part.
you know what I mean? I feel more of a man, you know what I'm
That
saying?
part.
When you're able to have accountability, when you're able to have missing pieces of the story, to it actually brings me closer. I still got to work out a lot of my, ways, and I'm still working on it, and all I can do is my best. But that's the difference, is that the temple is trying to bring together. Um, it's not trying to separate or
I
back.
appreciate I appreciate that. I appreciate that intervention because, somebody just said, hold on, let's see. Janet said, love and peace, gods and goddesses. How can I start this conversation? Because I'm just learning about the cosmic mother, and Cassandra has opened my mind to this in the past 4 months. And then Shauna Michelle says, exactly. Princella isn't promoting balance. She's promoting revenge. So let me say a couple of things. First of all, we have to study. We have to study, y'all. There is no getting around it. There's no avoiding it. When I joined the party, we used to say, those of us who were really young when we joined, we used to say all the time, it's like, to study every day. And we were studying every day, baby. When I say studying, I mean political education, 2 hours every day, twice a week. We have 4-hour political education studies where the whole group came together, like every day studying, because these motherfuckers are running circles around us because of what we don't know. They are running circles around us because of what we don't know. That's it. That's it. To not know is to forever be exploited, right? And so we have to study. And the chairman used to say all the time, women are afraid of study, political study. He said men will come up in the motherfucking party and that's all they want to do. They want to study so they can be mouthpiece. Chairman used to kick our ass about that shit. There's one thing I will say about him. He used to kick our ass about this shit. He's like, it don't take nothing to win brothers to do the political study, to, you know, quote, iron sharpen iron, to get up in the deep philosophical, political, blah, blah, blah. Women didn't want to do that. We were like, we were happy to execute. We'll do the four corners. We'll make the flyers. We'll do the cooking. And chairman was against it hard. He was like, nah, not up in here. Y'all women are going to study. Y'all are going to learn the line. You're going to learn to articulate the line. You understand? And women have to study. Women have to learn who we are. There is a whole half of human history that has been forgotten for a reason. That's us. Women in the world make up half of human history that's just completely obliterated. You feel me?
The beginning. The beginning of human history.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And so in terms of the question that Janet asked, that's the first place. That great cosmic mother, don't just listen to it, baby. You see me. You see mine. I ain't telling you no shit that I ain't done. This is 4 times of me reading this book straight through. I got sticky tabs. I got my shit highlighted the hell and back. I got every single paragraph in this joint numbered, just like the Bible. Every single paragraph in my book is numbered. Hold on. Every single I went through this whole book. See them numbers? Every single paragraph in this book is numbered. Get in this book, because what she doesn't do is have some mythological, superfluous discussion. She talks about the entire history of the world, how we arrived at this point, and how we will win. That's this book. So get in this book. Learn who you are. Another book you should get into. That is a very easy way to begin to learn. Remember who you are. See, Abasi got his great cosmic mother all worn out and highlighted the hell and back. You feel me? The next one is the Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets by Barbara G. Walker. Get in this book. This book is easy because all she doing is you look up a word and she tells you the origin of the word and the history of the word or the phenomena or whatever. You feel me? We have to know who we are before we can stage a contest. We ain't just black women. We got a whole goddamn history. Who are we? What is it about us that is going to guarantee the inevitable end of the opposition of God the Son, God the Son, God the Father, and God the Holy Spirit? Because that's who we in the contest with. Now, some of y'all gonna be uncomfortable with that because y'all just stepped your feet up out the church yesterday. And I know I've experienced that discomfort many years ago. You feel me? But that's who the opposition is. And every religious and corporate and economic institution is supported and upheld by a philosophy that comes from God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. You understand? And then the other thing that Shauna Michelle said about Princella isn't promoting balance. She is promoting revenge. I want to clarify something. I'm not opposed to revenge. I'm not opposed to revenge because my mother is not opposed to revenge. And that's another reason we have to study history, or we will forever have somebody telling us to turn the other cheek or not be too loud, or, you know, just absolve someone. This is what justice look like. That ain't no goddess that's ever existed in history. Every goddess has a personification of the face of revenge. So I ain't got no problem with revenge. If you know, motherfucker, who didn't actually did dirt, who didn't actually did wrong, who didn't actually harm some woman, who didn't actually harm some child, I guarantee you that your judgment, that your revenge will pale in comparison to anything that your mother would have done back in the day. I guarantee that. I guarantee that. You understand? So
Forgiveness without justice rewards injustice.
yes, yes. And it teaches your opposition something about who you are and what they can get away with. Okay. And so no, the two thing, and then the other thing is I want you to be careful, Shauna Michelle, when you talk about balance. Because what did I say balance is? What am I constantly reiterating balance is in this age when we're talking about the harmony or the balance between the divine feminine and sacred masculine? What is balance? What is balance? I want you to tell me, Shauna Michelle, since that was your comment. And I got your email, by the way, boo. I haven't checked it yet, but I saw it today. Shauna Michelle, tell me what is balance between the divine feminine and the sacred masculine. Shauna, tell me what you can say. I don't know. That's fine. I ain't trying to put you on blast, but that was your comment when you said Princella isn't promoting balance, she's promoting revenge. Right? Hold on, Shauna Michelle. What's the name of the book? Not forgotten, purposefully omitted. What's the name of the book? I concur. Revenge is necessary, but her type of revenge has ulterior motives. Absolutely, yes. Balance is equal force in both. That's not what. No. Balance. What I'm always talking about between the divine feminine and the sacred masculine, or harmony, is about what? It's reestablishing the relationship between what? The mother and the son. The mother and the son. The mother and the son. That is what that image means. The harmonizing or the balance between the divine feminine and the sacred masculine is the relationship between the mother and the son. The mother and the son, not man and woman, not husband and wife, not boyfriend, girlfriend, none of that bullshit. It is the harmony, the universal, energetic, harmonizing energy of the masculine and the feminine is between the mother and the son. Between the mother and the son. And so, again, when we're talking about balance, I want you to be clear, because the way that this work is going to look, the way that this is going, even what Abasi said just a little while ago about his experience walking through the book, The Great Cosmic Mother, and how that shit is continually challenging him. Because we're not, listen, we can be mad at individual men if we want to, but what we're experiencing in these antagonisms, these aggressions between men and women in the world, particularly Black men, and they're like extremely hostile, open aggression against Black women. What we're experiencing is 6,000 goddamn years of collective conditioning. This ain't no shit they woke up with yesterday. So you talking about dismantling a whole institution woven into their goddamn genetic material through conditioning. You feel me? So when you talk about Princella, like, it was a part of the discussion to establish that we ain't the same. And everybody that's been up in my DMs and my emails talking about, listen to this motherfucker and this motherfucker over here and this motherfucker over here, you sound like them. We ain't the same. It's not just about what is coming forth from our lips. It is about who are you? Who are your mentors? I tell y'all all the time who my mentors are. I tell you all the time how my learned experience got me to the place that I am. How being a Christian and being a revolutionary and being in medical school 10 years and raising children and raising all of these help to inform me in a single instant to understand what it is I'm looking at in real time. Plus understanding history, understanding theory, being in an organization under old ass veterans. The goddamn chairman of the African People's Socialist Party is 82 years old this year. Everybody in the organization up in his age, the veterans that I studied under. You feel me? So this ain't no shit that just came to my consciousness in ceremony somewhere. Ceremony, when I go into ceremony, when I go into the sweat lodge, when I go into a nipi, I am informed by my entire life experience. That is including the study of phenomenon. that is the study of dialectical materialism. You understand? And so the other thing I will say is this. I get it because I've been there. I was 26 years old when I joined the party, when I became, quote, conscious. And I remember how excited I was, how on fire I was for the line, how on fire I was for this new worldview that I never had any connection with, any knowledge of. I was like, yes, everything I ever learned is a lie. You know what I'm saying? The rage and the excitement and all the things mixed up. I get it. When you come into a set of new ideas and information that set your soul on fire. But we all need mentors. We all need a way to learn how to apply the information that we collect. Because, see, I just had this conversation with my daughter the other day. My daughter called me, and my daughter, you know, she was raised with me, but she still struggles with like how to articulate things that she knows intuitively aren't right, but like how to explain what it is she's feeling. She still struggles with that, right? Because Morgan was raised in the movement. Morgan was 4 years old when I joined the party, right? And so, yes, you know, via osmosis, she's getting some of the shit, but now she's 30 years old trying to understand the world that she lives in and articulate it in a way that people can grab onto clearly. And so we were talking the other 2 days ago, maybe. And she was telling me about, I don't even remember what it was, but I said, you know, I want you to remember, because you were a child, you were very young when I joined the party. I said, but don't feel intimidated. She was like, but you explain things so clear, like it just makes sense. I said, baby, I didn't pop out the womb that way. I said, as a matter of fact, when you were 4 years old and I joined the party, the same thing that you're articulating now, I didn't know nothing about nothing. I didn't have no political background, no historical understanding, nothing. I said, this is a walk that we're going through. But what helped me to get to the place that I am is, one, knowing when to shut my mouth. Two, knowing that I always need mentors. Always. I need mentors, somebody that has a lived experience and a collection of ideas that can make practical those things that I'm learning, the information that I'm taking in. And the other thing is this, she laughed because I said, what's happening with your generation, because Morgan is what you would call a millennial. And then I said, so what's happening with millennials and Gen Zs and Gen Alpha is you have what I didn't have. You guys have this steady access to a fucking mountain of information that took us ages and years to learn, because we did not have social media. We did not have the internet. We didn't have what you have. And what is happening is, I told her, I said, what's that big head dude name in the cartoons that you used to watch all the time? Megamind. Y'all remember Megamind? He had the big ass head and this little bitty body. Remember that? And he was always plotting on taking over the world. I said, that's what's happening. Millennials, Gen Zs, and Gen Alphas, y'all a bunch of megaminds running around. Y'all have big old heads, just swole full of information. So much information. So, because y'all spend your life on social media. And there's a lot of great information coming from social media. And y'all are transferring ideas. But not one person on social media, I can guarantee you, has a lived experience taking these ideas and applying them in the real world so that knowledge can become wisdom. There is a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Does anybody know what that is? This I used to teach in high school, as a matter of fact. The difference between knowledge and wisdom. It was their vocabulary words. I used to teach vocabulary. What is the difference between knowledge and wisdom? They mad, but my phone just died, so my IG follow is gonna be like, what? What's the difference between knowledge and wisdom? Now, Power, I'm really enjoying your show tonight. Thank you, Angelica. Hi, Lotus Flower. Good seeing you here. Thank you for being here. Is the great mother loving of white women too? Child, we are all of the mother's body. The work of white people, is a peculiar kind of work. We talked about that, 2 days? Ma'am. We talked about that a couple of days ago. So yes, we all here. Who is the mother? Who is the great cosmic mother? Who is the great mother? It's this earth that we are inhabiting together right now. White people are in it. White people are of it. Y'all have a peculiar line of work that you must do. That's all. But yeah, you in here with us. Y'all have work to do, just like the rest of us have work to do. But y'all work is peculiar because of the world that we live in. But anyway, what's the difference between knowledge is without experience? Yes. Knowledge is ideas. It's a collection of ideas. I mean, we know a lot of people who have great ideas, we know a lot of people who historically we identify as brilliant, right? Say they're geniuses. Did that genius translate to a behavior that was beneficial, that was beneficent, or malignant? You see what I'm saying? So when anybody can have a lot of ideas, anybody can have a lot of information tucked in their brain. Anybody can have a lot of ideas and information in their brain. They can know a lot of shit and be able to articulate that shit very well in debates. They love that. In debates, in the warring of the minds. How do those ideas, how does the acquisition of knowledge transform your behavior? The Bible says that wisdom is a woman because it's embodied. Because see, the Bible even says that the woman is the flesh. That's why you have to do all this crazy shit to separate yourself from the flesh to get higher to the Father. You feel me? The Bible is clear about who the woman is. The woman is the flesh. The woman is the lived experience. The woman is the real world. It's the material realm. And the Bible calls wisdom a woman because it is the acquisition of knowledge, tried and tested, that makes it embodied. Tried and tested. Anybody can. That's why y'all got caught up by them churches, because that preacher so-and-so will tell you some shit to sound real good because he got all the inflection and he's such a wonderful orator and he does all the gestures that get you all excited and the organ goes in the background and it's this whole magnanimous performance and he telling you all kind of bullshit. And because he said it and because he's the preacher and because he's up on the pulpit, you do not question. You do not question it. You do not examine it. You do not test it in your daily life. You don't. You just accept it, that it's the truth because the preacher says so. But even that filthy Bible says that wisdom is a woman. To know is not enough. To take what you know and test it through actionable discernment is what allows it to become wisdom, a part of who you are, a part of your lived experience that you can rely on. This idea I heard coming from the preacher, it sounded nice, but I had to go out in the world and see if that shit is for me, because what may work for somebody else don't work for me, or vice versa. How does knowledge? And so y'all walking around, all these babies walking around, and y'all know I love Gen Zs and millennials and all the like. Like I'm rooting for them. You feel me? But they're walking around like a bunch of mega minds. They got a whole host of information in their brain, but they don't touch the dirt. They don't touch trees. They ain't never gone outside and built a fort trying to work it out. Like, how are we gonna take this stick and how are we gonna take these nails and how we gonna work some things out? Like, can we, like, you know what I'm saying? Like we did. Like we did, right? They don't, and that's a lot of, like, from a Chinese perspective, that's a lot of yang to have in your head without an outlet for it. And the outlet would be the yin. It would be the action. It would be the hands on the material realm and transforming it, taking all of this that you have in your head and say, okay, I heard this thing over here and I saw this thing over here. How can we use that to make this happen over here? How can we use this to solve this problem right here that actually exists? Y'all don't have that. Y'all don't have the balance between yin and yang. So you're walking around like a bunch of mega minds with these big ass heads full of information, and you are frustrated and you are angry and you are enraged because you have all this information and no outlet to discern it, to apply it, to use it, to make it an experience that becomes a part of who you are. That's what I'm telling my daughter the other day. She's like, that makes so much sense. I was like, I know, baby. But that's why y'all out here, y'all got anxiety. You got every diagnosis that some weirdo wants to put on you. You got all these medications. And what you don't have is a relationship to other human beings where a crew of you come together to solve real problems, taking all of your collective information and knowledge and then putting it to use in the material world. We do not have communities. We do not have neighborhoods of young people who spend all day. Don't come back in my house till the street light come on. Solve it. Make it happen. Do what y'all do outside. I don't care. Just don't come up in my house until the street lights come on. You feel me? Y'all don't have that. And so we used to run 12, 15, 20 deep in our neighborhood, picking wild berries, eating them right off the trees, traipsing through the swamp in the back of the goddamn trailer park and shit, like making it snow with fucking cattails busting up all on the street. And every time the car drive by, the little poof would come all up. We was like, it's snowing in Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't have that. Y'all don't have communities. And I'm being funny, but I'm being serious. I'm always talking to you guys about what does every religion say? Where two or more are gathered in my name, there I am. This is the creation of the Godhead. It is community. It is the touching. It is the communicating with. It is the circle of human beings where spirit collectivized comes from us to become something greater than us and then feed us in return. This is what that means. The collective unity of will that has us grow crops together, which we don't do anymore, right? That has us, sow seeds together, or women to have us in circles where we weave together. And this is how we understand how patterns emerge. We as the weavers of time, we as the fates that are the weavers of human destiny. But we don't have sitting circles anymore where we do that. There is something that emerges from us when we come together. And that's what we're all sick from, is separation. We're all sick from isolation. We're all sick from these separations, whether it's through ideas, you don't believe what I believe, so fuck you very much type of shit, or whether it's just the fact that we don't have actual contact with one another. And I'm telling you, I'm still going back to the title of this thing. I love you guys. I do. I take it personally when y'all get offended by something I say and y'all feel like y'all cannot challenge me. And so you just dip. It hurts my feelings. I'll be honest, because I'm still a sensitive person. I still got a soft heart. I come off hard because I'm serious about what it is I've been called to do. But I love you all. I mean that. I do. I don't say that shit lightly. I feel like I know each and every one of you who contact me or who I've read for. I feel invested in you, because I see you as a part of the fulfillment of destiny. I do. I take that very seriously. And so, I feel but we can't. I can't. It's this thing that I've been doing. I can't. And Abasi be kicking my ass about it all the time. He's like, you got to stop being soft. He's like, you got to stop being soft on these people, man. Like, look, you got to be blood raw right now. You feel me? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And then I'll be like, but you know what? I know how y'all are. You know what I'm saying? I know how it is to be an infant in this walk and be overwhelmed by information. You know what I'm saying? I do. And I empathize with that. And it's why I don't just verbally slay motherfuckers. You feel me? Because I remember what it is to be overwhelmed by one, coming into the awareness that you have been lied to your whole life. Everything you thought was true was a myth. That's a really terrible feeling. I remember that. I remember the rage. My walk into the party, but my first few years in the party, I had an attitude all the time. I was angry more than anything else. And I was angry, full of rage, attempting to raise a sane human being. You feel me? So I get it. I do. I get the varying different phases that we are in this walk. What I can leave you with is one, if you hear someone that says something that reminds you of something that I have said, before sending that to me, I would encourage you to find out who they are, to Google search their name, to invest. Who are their mentors? Who do they hail from? Because y'all know me. I have made myself butt naked and raw on this thing for 4 years. Y'all know my life. There ain't nothing, there ain't too much of nothing y'all don't know about my life. Okay? That is, and I promise, I make that promise office. I swear to you, I promise to you, I will never betray you. I will never betray you. I may disappoint you every now and again because I'm human. You feel me? I'm God, but I'm still human. I'm still having a real ass human experience. You feel me? So I will never betray you. I will never betray you because I would never betray my mother. I honor you because I honor my mother. I believe in you because I know she is divinely perfect. She makes no mistakes. She is flawless. And since she is flawless and the process is flawless, I have to have faith in you, even if your ass ain't right now. Even if your ass is fucked up right now, because there are many who have internalized their conditioning a lot deeper than the rest of us. And some of them, there may be hope for them. Others of them, they may have to become plant food and try again. So I'm not a pacifist. Somebody said earlier about revenge. I'm not opposed to revenge at all. 0% am I opposed to revenge. There are some situations where it's the only just way to address a situation or a malignancy among us. So I'm not opposed to that. But I will say, Kali is not angry. Now power. Kali wasn't angry. As a matter of fact, she danced. She danced in the bloodbath, baby. She was gleeful in her avenging of the world. She was not angry at all. She was wild. She showed up on the scene because she's like, bitch, this is my shit. I created this. I created all that is. Who dare come up on the scene and attempt to destroy what I have created? Let me run through these motherfuckers real quick because they playing games. She slayed out of love, baby. She slayed out of love. And she was so hype about the look, she was so hype about the mission. What did they say? That she got turned up and started dancing. This is awesome. Saving the world was awesome. Saving the world was awesome. So awesome she danced. She was like, this is what I'm talking. This is what I've been waiting for. Because who was it? She sprung from the head of Durga. She sprung from the head of Durga. Durga was the mother. Durga was the loving version of the mother, you know, the big mama type. She want to cook for everybody. She want to hug all the babies. You feel me? She the grandmama. She like, I just love y'all. You feel me? And the demon came to try her stilo. And she was like, you know, I'll box you. Okay, cool. Yeah. But she didn't have it because that's her gentle self. That's her loving personification. She's like, look, bitch, I ain't here to fight. I'm here to love. Like, why are you trying me? This some bullshit. And then when she kept getting tried and she kept getting tried and she kept getting tried, what happened? Kali, who is her, they all won. Kali was like, okay, Durga, we're going to put the mother to sleep right now. We're going to put the big mama to sleep right now because they ain't responded. The demon ain't responding to that. What is the demon? Based on the tradition, the demon is the malignant ego. It is the ego run amok. It is the ego, what did I say earlier? Unbridled, unanchored, unbound, threatening to destroy all that is. That's the demon. Wait a minute, where's that book at? Hold
on. And according to the Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets, the you know, because now in this culture, you know, you got thugs. The thugs and those days were the ones who killed for the goddess, according to.
Say that again.
So I'm a thug.
Yes. What is it here? This is my little pseudo grimoire right here. It says the goddess. This is Kali. She is the source of life. She is earth itself, all creating and all consuming. She who gives victory of good over evil. This is Kali. She who gives the gift of freedom, especially freedom from fear. It says, she is the one to call upon when you need clarity and perceptiveness, especially when you need obstacles removed, especially mental obstacles. She is the destroyer of our inner demons. This is Kali. This is Kali. She is the destroyer of our inner demons, right? She represents rebirth, cycles, joy, courage, hope, cleansing, change. Everybody sees the blood on her tongue. Everybody sees the skulls on her waistband. Everybody sees the head in her hand, and they're like, oh, she hate men. No, the skulls, the blood, the head in her hand is all of that threatens to destroy earth. It is our malignancies. It is our demons. It is our egos run amok. It is our egos run astray to the point that it becomes toxic and deadly. Here, she is the mother of cycles and rebirth and joy and courage and hope and cleansing and change. But we see her as evil. You see? She is the governess of dance. Kali protects against violence against women, right? She aids in the letting go of old patterns. This is who she is, you see. This is who she is. That's what I meant. When I said earlier, the first thing that we have to do, I think it was Sister Janet, the first thing we have to do is remember who we are. That's the first thing that we have to do. We have to study the goddess to know who we are. We have to study Kali and Oya, Yamaya and Oshun, Hecate, and all the goddesses and all the personifications everywhere on earth to learn the different phases of who we are as whole humans, women, as whole humans. We represent all the faces of the goddess. That's what it means to be a whole human. Yes, I can be angry. Yes, I can be vengeful. Yes, I can be rage-filled. Yes, I can be the big mama. Yes, I can be the nurturer. Yes, I can be the sultry sultress. I can be the whore. I can be the harlot. I can be the virgin. I can be all of those things and still be fully me. The dichotomization of the goddess came as a consequence of the patriarchy. You see, the splitting apart of the faces of the goddess came as a consequence, a strategic part of the establishing of the patriarchy, so that you can honor one face of the goddess and stay away from the other, vilify the Lilith and hold up the Mary, right? Or hold up the submissive Eve, vilify the Kali and hold up the Durga. And we're talking about the harmonizing of the masculine and the feminine. We're talking about the harmonizing, but we aren't harmonious within ourselves. We subdue, suppress, eradicate certain parts of ourselves as women and can't figure out how we have not established a way to regain control of the reins of power. That's the challenge. That's where we are. How do we, as the collective embodiment of the she on earth, regain control of the reins of power? That's it. That's the question. That's the mission. That's it. You feel me? I love all of these comments. I think it's useful to know why people think certain ideologies are similar to yours. People need to accept challenge to their thought processes. It's called learning. And I'll tell you, the reason I went on this diatribe is because I know I have learned. It occurred to me today why people see these things that they've sent me as the same. And it's not like a little bit, not a lot. First of all, like Abasi said earlier, the state is going to deepen its co-optation of the language of the goddess. I'm guaranteeing you that. I promise you that. You are going to see more and more people who otherwise ain't got nothing, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Y'all ain't got nothing in common. People who ain't got nothing in common with you in any other facet of life, all of a sudden they talking about the goddess. know that there are going to be people talking about the goddess, the great cosmic mother, the great mother, divine black women, the matriarchy, who are going to be using it like swords against you. They are going to be talking that shit out their mouth, and every time their mouth opens, venom is going to be coming out. That sounds like, oh, they about the goddess too. That's where discernment is going to save your life. I guarantee I'm telling you, I promise you, and I'm not arrogant. I am well informed. Okay? I'm not arrogant. I'm well informed. There is not a single, solitary, singular video that someone has sent me in the last year saying this person sound like you that I listened to and was like, that's right on. That's what I'm talking about right there. Not one. Not one. Because not one. I'm just telling you, not one. I can confidently say that. Yeah, I'm listening to somebody today and they talking about Priscilla and like, oh my God, she even lied about all these degrees she got. She ain't got a single degree. How y'all been listening to this chick for 2-3 years and ain't nobody looked into her background and say, yeah, she got these degrees. And that's how she can say with authority the shit she's saying, which is madness. Everything she say is madness. Have me tell it, every word that's come out of her mouth is madness. I digress. That's not to condemn anybody who liked her. She took advantage of what you do not know. She took advantage of your rage and these betrayals of your past to galvanize that attention towards her, knowing that she had no intention of reciprocating that energy. She didn't intend to give y'all nothing but some. It's like what you call that shit? It's like reality TV. That's what it's like. You know it's fake. You know it ain't real, but you watch it anyway. Even though they tell you it's reality TV and you know that shit ain't real. It's scripted as fuck. You know what I'm saying? It's suspect as hell. You feel me? That's what her channel is like. It's like reality TV. You feel me? I'm going to tell you, I ain't never going to lie to you. I'm going to give it to you blood raw. And if you don't like it, no, it's still coming from a place of love. No, I will never betray you. Never. Never. And if for no other reason, I will never betray my mother. That's enough. You know how they say that bullshit, namaste? I told y'all I would keep it blood raw. You feel me? So they say that bullshit, namaste, and namaste is supposed to mean something to the effect of the God in me sees the God in you. Y'all don't believe that shit. 99.9% of the people who say that bullshit, namaste. Y'all don't believe that shit. Y'all don't believe that shit.
What was the name of the guru in California? What was the name? Guru.
Jagged. I'm still dismayed and bewildered, yo, because this girl had big name followers: Oprah, Alicia Keys.
But that's a prime example.
Thank you. Yes, come on in.
No,
Keep
I'll
going.
let you.
Keep on in the room,
No, I'm just
Abasi.
saying, but that's the prime example of what this whole live is about. That's a prime example, and what she was able to gain off of it. How she was. I mean, I'll let you because.
No, you say.
Yeah, I can't say it, but it's not funny, but it's
No,
funny.
it is
But
funny and distressing.
Guru Yagat was
Jagged. That was her name, Guru Jagged.
Guru Jagat was a white lady who said that she received her enlightenment from a guru in India, and she learned the moves and she learned the sayings and she learned all of these things. But to make a long story short, she was eventually able to transform that into a very lucrative yoga spot in a very posh part of I think up LA, and she was on all of these big shows and publications and things like that. She was able to infiltrate a real spiritual base and literally drain it for her own personal good. And this is the prime example of how. Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, please finish.
No, but it's just a prime example of how you have to be. Because I mean, it's not funny, but when you look at the documentary on it, when you look at it, you'll be able to see very clearly the parallels between that documentary and what this live is about. As far as
Yes.
how you have people who are just opportunists, they see a lane. You know what I mean? Like they
Yes.
listen to the news, they read the statistics, they see a lane, and and YouTube is a platform for everybody. You know what I mean? If you just happen to be bored one day, like right now, it's like 2 in the morning here, but it's lives about everything. So they see the lanes, and if there's like we talked about earlier, if there's no base, it makes it easier for them. If we're not educated, you know what I mean? We're as the same way as these people that this lady was able to go to Southern California and literally fleece because they were looking for something. She seen the lane of them looking for something, and she was able to. I mean, it's just crazy what she's able to do.
Yes. She amassed a fortune for herself. I'm so glad you brought that up, Abasi. I'm so glad you brought it up because I'm so glad you brought it up because to watch the documentary, the first few minutes of the documentary, I was like, is this a joke? Like, I didn't know if it was like, you know how sometimes they be doing parodies and shit? I was like, is this for real? Like, is this a joke or is this real? I'm not joking. I'm not being funny. I saw it on Netflix. I was like, Guru Jagged. And it's this white girl with a turban on, but her little blonde hair is hanging from the turban. And I was like, the fuck? You feel me? And they was like, Guru Jagged. And I was like, I said, is this like supposed to be a spoof, like a parody? Because even her behavior, her outward behavior was like off the chain. I was like, okay. And so I watched the whole thing. And I'm like, and then you see interviews with like freaking Alicia Keys. Who else? There was a whole gang of like famous people, a whole gang.
Won a Grammy.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the goddamn Grammy. Yo, I forgot about the Grammy. Oh my God. Yo.
Political education for everybody that's on this line, and as far as what she's trying to convey with this live, it is a direct parallel. When you get a chance, check it out.
You have to. You have to. I didn't even tell you this, Abasi, when we talked earlier. I went this past Sunday, I was going to the beach and I go the back way down like Sunset all the way to the beach. And there's this big, beautiful building. And every time I drive by, I'm like, I'm gonna stop in there and see what that place is sometime. It's beautiful. It's like, it looks Arabic, truth be told. It's beautiful white building with these intricate designs all in the wall and the big gold, like, things on the top. And it's like blue and white, beautiful, beautiful building overlooking the whole beach in Pacific Palisades, right? I was like, one of these days I'm gonna ride up in there and see what they got going on up in here, right? Sunday, I was going to the beach. And I was like, and there were cars there. I never see cars there. I was like, I'm about to roll up in here today. Y'all, I'm surprised I ain't said nothing about it earlier. What's today? Today Monday? Today Monday, right? Is today Monday or Tuesday? What's today? Tuesday? Fuck. It's Monday or Tuesday. Not this past Sunday, the Sunday, a week ago Sunday, right? I go up in there. And the dude stopped me. He was like, okay. I was like, well, what's going on in here today? I keep saying I'm gonna stop by. He was like, well, there's meditation. It's not Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? It's not Wednesday. Damn. Anyway, he said there's meditation service going on right now. And what happens is they'll meditate for an hour. Then the band will perform for an hour. Then they'll meditate for an hour. And then the band will perform again and close out, right? The place is called the Self-Realization Center. Okay. You've heard of Guru Yogananda? Okay. So I actually, he's pretty popular. Guru Yogananda is who they accredit for bringing yoga to the United States. Like the first yogi to ever bring yoga to the United States is Yogananda, right? So this center is one of his centers. I think he has 3 centers in the city. but that's like the main one where they've bought the first land in like the 1950s, right, overlooking Pacific Palisades. So this is Guru Yogananda's self-realization center, and let me just tell you something. I was dismayed.
Yogi T guy, right?
Huh?
The Yogi T, is that the guy?
No. That was Guru Jagat's guru.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Guru Jagat's guru was the Yogi T guy, because side note, that shit was fucked up because this dude was the founder of Yogi T, but what else did he deal in that was like the startup capital for his whole empire? He was an arms dealer. Remember that? The guru,
Yeah,
the
the
motherfucking
security
guru
bases,
was a goddamn
yeah.
arms dealer,
Right.
and he was doing like
A
arms
security, he was doing like
for
armed security
Israel.
Right.
I got to go back and watch this shit. I forgot about his ties to Israel, the Yogi. You feel me? So anyway, no, this dude is it's different. This ain't the same guy. So this dude came to America in like maybe the 50s or the 60s. Yogananda. Anyway, I go to the self-realization center. I'm looking around while they're in meditation. He's like, so while they're in meditation, you can't go in. You can't go in until the break where they get ready to do the music. I was like, I'm not going to go in and meditate, but I'll walk around, check the place out, and maybe come back on another day. So I'm walking around, seeing all the pictures. There's a huge ass picture. There's a wall like this. You feel me? Huge ass picture of Yogananda at the top. And he's a dark skinned Indian man, like dark skin Indian man, right? Big old picture of Yogananda front and center. And then a picture of all the top yogis that have led the self-realization center since his transition. Every single solitary one of them was white people with white hair. One was female, the rest were males. This picture, this big ass colored man in the center, and the rest of the 7 pictures was old. I mean, old. Every last one of them had white hair. It was like white hair was a requirement or some shit. I don't know. All of them had white hair circled around him as the lead gurus of the temple since his transition. All of them, old white people, and one was an old white woman. I said, and I'm thinking to myself walking through this thing, does nobody see this problematic? Like, at all? Like, just a little bit problematic? Like, is the level of disconnect really that deep, that wide? That you have a whole temple built around the teachings of Yogananda. This damn near brown as me, colored man from India. Then I was like, let me come home and see what they about. So I get on YouTube to see if I can find anything about this temple, on YouTube. I see this white guy leading a meditation service, right? He's sitting on the stage, Yogananda, big old picture on the stage behind him. He's sitting there leading this meditation, and the camera is directly on him. Then the camera during the meditation pans around. Now it's Pacific Palisades. Boy, move your big old head out of the way. Sorry about that. He done messed up something. So I'm expecting to see, it's Pacific Palisades. I'm expecting to see a bunch of rich white people in the meditation being led by this old white guy. I'm expecting to see a sea of white people being led by this dude who is sitting in front of Yogananda leading this meditation. Baby, the camera spans the room, and every single one of the easily 200 people in the room is brown. Sitting on the floor below this dude, this white guy with white hair, leading a Hindu meditation, child, goddamn. Everybody on the floor is brown. All the men is in the middle. All the women are on the periphery. Everybody brown. Sitting at the feet of a white guy doing and leading a Hindu meditation. And a temple supposedly devoted to the Yogi Nanda. And nobody see no contradiction whatsoever. This is what the disconnect, when you don't study history, when you do not understand history, this is what the fuck happens. You can follow behind a blonde hair, blue-eyed white girl calling herself Yogi Jagged, and her ass was born and raised in Buffalo. What the hell? In goddamn Boulder, Colorado. Never met the Yogi, by the way. It was revealed all after the fact. She said she spent all this time with a Yogi in the goddamn mountain somewhere in the motherfucking Himalayas, and he never met her ass. That didn't stop people from following her. She been dead a few years, and all of her little studios is still the fuck open. Her website's still functional. You feel me?
And we're not talking about no little bit of money.
Yo, but I'm gonna tell you. The other thing, when you mentioned that, when you mentioned her, when you mentioned this tendency, even when we talk about princella, it's like the reason that people feel comfortable just giving money to that, to just like saying, my money is what gives is what gains me access. My money, the amount of money that I give is because you remember I did this whole maybe a week-long fucking string of videos on the culture of absolutionism. The reason that people can follow a guru jagged is, yes, they may be looking for something, but there's only so much they're willing to do to get that something. And if their money can give them the pass, if there's somebody telling them there's no work that you need to be in right way with the spirit and to be in right way with the mother, there's no work you need to. All you have to do is give money. All you have to do is give a sizable donation to the institution being led by colored person so-and-so or white person so-and-so. And they will grant you all. What is absolution in these scenarios? It is the removal of guilt. It is the removal of guilt. You understand? Listen, why else? Why else do white people follow behind colored folk? Why else do white people follow behind? I'm serious. Why do they follow behind colored people? Guru so-and-so, master so-and-so, yogi so-and-so, Dolly so-and-so. Is because in their mind, if they give a certain amount of money or attention or support to some colored person, they are absolved. There is no work they need to do. There is no work, no internal work, no social work, no collective work. There is no work they need do to be in right way with the spirit, to be in right way with the mother. All they got to do is give their money to colored person so-and-so, to guru so-and-so, to master so-and-so, to preacher so-and-so, to jagged so-and-so, to whoever the fuck. That's it. Absolution is what they're looking for. Why? It's what everybody's looking for. Not just white people. If your ass grew up in the Christian church, bitch, you looking for absolution. If you grew up fucking Catholic, your ass is looking for absolution. You are. And so you will run behind every freaking person with a good idea that makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside and guarantees you there's no work you need do. There's no work you need do. Just support my shit. Support my life. Support my shit. There's no work you need do. I bless you. I absolve you. But it's different when somebody like myself is telling you, not only is there work you need do, but the reason that you need to do the work is because this is how you begin to understand what it feels like to be God in the flesh. The work is what facilitates her arrival into you, into your flesh. This work that you do, not only with yourself, not behind closed doors, not in isolation, in groups with others who can challenge you out of love. This is where the growth comes from. In ceremony with others who can challenge you out of love. Because why? You have a unity of will. We all want to see the world made well. We all want to see the world made whole. We don't bring our egos into the space. We say, look, we're trying to win this shit. We're trying to take this shit. You understand? And so because I love you and I know that you trying to take the shit too, that we on the same page, you feel me? This is what it's going to mean for us to come into ceremony together. This is how we're going to evolve as a consequence. When I took them, how many women was it? 6 women that came out into the desert with me and buried their asses in the cold ass dirt in the middle of the goddamn night, surrounded by coyotes and shit. That was an enormous amount of trust these women gave me. It was an enormous amount. And when I say I'm not talking about figuratively, I'm telling you, I buried these women in the motherfucking dirt. We dug straight up casket-sized holes in the middle of the desert and buried them in it. You understand? That was some uncomfortable shit. That was some uncomfortable. It was deep. It was deep. It was deep. But something happened that night. Nobody left the same that night. Even the man, I didn't bury him. He facilitated for us. He helped us. He's like, look, don't worry about nothing. Whatever you need. You need me to bring regular water while y'all out here? I'll be quiet. I'll just sit the water out over here. You need me to dig the holes for y'all? He got out there in the middle of the goddamn day and dug those holes for us. Even he was changed as a consequence. That's how she moves. That's an embodied experience. You understand? And so that's why I watch all these cult movies, cult documentaries and shit. That's why I can see the flaws in them all. Because everybody is looking to escape what's right in front of them. That's why people join cults, boo. People join cults because they are looking to sidestep the inevitable work they must do to become God realized. That's real. They don't believe what about
what are some concrete steps that people can do or to pick up? So what are some concrete steps that people can do or that people can pick up so they don't get like duped?
Caught up?
Right.
Well, I tell you, have me tell it. Go back through my old videos and get your feet wet in this political education. Go back to the video entitled Combat Liberalism. How about that? Go back to the video entitled The Disease, the Fear of Responsibility. Go back to that one. Go back to the videos that I did on the state. Because you can't do nothing without understanding the state. It's everywhere. It exists everywhere. It infects every space. Political spaces, spiritual space. The state is everywhere. And unless you know it, unless you understand how it exists, how it moves, how it shows itself, you will forever be falling for the okie doke child. You'll forever. I mean, goddamn, Abasi was the one talking earlier when we communicated about Jim Jones. Like, how was Jim Jones able to get almost 1,000 working class, regular, everyday Black people to follow his ass to Guyana? He studied them. He studied them like an agent would. Yes, he did. They talked about his life, how he literally went from church to church to church, from the South all the way to the North, and even out here to California, studying preachers. That's what he did. He studied Black people. What did he do to win them? This was right off the ass end of the defeat of the Black Power movement. He used revolutionary language that was familiar to people who were like, yes, Black power, yes, civil rights. They had all just, the whole Black community had just come out of this shit. He knew exactly the language to use to galvanize the attention and the support of a specific group of people. The majority of people who were his followers were Black and working class. Not only were they Black and working class, when his ass said, it's time to move out of the country, they all sold their homes, left their families to follow his ass all the way down to Guyana. He studied them. So what Abasi said earlier about all these charlatans, these vagabonds, these pariah emerging, and all of a sudden they got a whole new language. Now it ain't peace queen, peace empress. the cosmic mother. It's the mother goddess. It's the matriarchy. It is a sword for which they intend to slay you with. And if you do not have the intellect, and the intellect, I'm not talking about y'all ain't smart. I'm talking about the intellect informed by a study of history and political education. If you do not have the intellect to, in an instant, discern what it is you're witnessing, you'll forever be betrayed by these charlatans. And you'll think because I got 2,000 followers and they got 250,000 followers that somehow I sound like them. Not that they are studying what I am producing, because they are. I was telling Abasi today, I said, this shit is crazy. I said, at first I thought it was like, okay, it's my imagination or whatever. I was like, no, bitch. I am sitting here going through people's videos and can literally hear me coming out of their mouth, word for word, verbatim. Can literally hear them coming out my me coming out their mouth. Go ahead, Abasi.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, it all started with the Isu. Remember the workshop?
The Ishu thing.
Yep.
Yo, that woman. That woman. I'll never forget that shit. I gotta find this woman's page. There is a woman. I've been in the E5 tradition 15 years. I did a workshop that was closed to the public. I did a workshop on America's First Pluto Return. I did that workshop 2 years ago. It was a 7-week workshop that was only through Zoom. You had to pay for it. As soon as I posted that shit, and I looked at the time, I looked at the date, Abasi, so it wasn't my imagination. As soon as I posted that workshop that was closed, I did not air it. As soon as I posted that I made that workshop available on my YouTube channel, downloaded, uploaded all them damn videos that y'all was in, that y'all paid for, to my YouTube channel. Not 2 months later, I hear this motherfucking woman talking about, see, it's hidden in plain sight. A shoe is right in Jesus. I mean, verbatim, word for word. Not nobody I'd ever come into contact with. I didn't learn that from anybody. This is what study does. This is what discernment does. This is what listening does. And that bitch got right on her page and all nonchalantly, she drew the diagram that I drew.
Umar Johnson.
Huh?
And Umar Johnson.
Yeah, he do that to everybody. It ain't just me. He steal everybody's shit. He steal everybody's shit. And I don't know how y'all keep giving this nigga props. How y'all keep inviting him to speak on y'all shit. How y'all keep interviewing this nigga. How y'all keep giving this dude props. When for 15, 20 years, this dude has literally been stealing everybody. He ain't just steal my shit. He did steal my shit though. Word for motherfucking word. But he don't just steal my shit. If it was just me, I'd be like, all right, he ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? But no, everybody. He steals from everybody. He don't give nobody props. He don't talk about who his mentors are, who his elders are, who he came from, who he hailed from. You feel me? No, he just a thief. And it's okay, because in the age of fucking YouTube, in the age of social media in general, don't nobody have no integrity. Don't nobody cite sources. Don't nobody say, this is where I heard it from, but this is my take on it. Because you can have a different take. You can say, look, I heard this idea and I like it, but let me add to it or whatever. Y'all don't see me do that shit. I'll tell y'all, even if I don't put it in the motherfucking whatever, you know, because I'm still learning all the little technicalities of it, but I say out my mouth. This particular thing I got from this person right here. Eventually, maybe I'll put a link in my thing because I'm not very organized, you feel me? But just so you know, this is who it is. This is where it came from. But this is my take on it, because this they worldview and they worldview ain't my worldview. So I was like, yeah, this is what it is. This is what it sounds like. This is what they said. But yada yada yada. You feel me? So like, especially with the astrology shit, because I'm not an astrologer. So I watch 3, 4, 5, 6 different astrologers. I will say this astrologer was talking about these events and this and this and this, but because they still have a Greco-European Roman worldview, I know that that's all they can do. That's their limitation. They can only see the stars and the universe and shit through their limited worldview. This is what, based on what they were saying, I think for black people, brown people, red people, and everybody else. That's it. Give props where props are due. That's what it means to have integrity. Don't nobody do that. And so every time I turn around, I'm hearing myself They don't even, because I ain't got no followers hardly. I got 2,000 followers. So people don't mind stealing from me, laying up on my shit, studying my shit, and literally citing, saying word for word something that came out of my motherfucking mouth and act like it's the stroke of genius from them. You feel me? So much these days, it's crazy. So much. You understand? Now power is cutting up. Girl, what's so funny? Yo, I'm telling you, it's like that. I can walk around here being mad. The people that needed to be put on blast, I put on blast. Like I tore into the Umar Johnson about that because that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. And he's one of those ones who is notorious for using his silver tongue to slay women in particular. You know, revolutionary rock star, grand poobah, RBG, whatever the fuck he calling himself on any given day, using. That's what it's for. It's like his pickup line. It's like everything that he says is like how he maneuvers the space of women. And because we still, for whatever reason, have faith that men are going to act right, that men are going to do better on their own. You understand? And so we fall for the silver tongue quite often. We do. As a matter of fact, the woman that I talked to today was beside herself. She was the one that got me on this whole princella thing. But this is a Mexican woman. She's like, girl, what you think about princella? I was like, God damn. She done got to the Mexican women too? I'm saying, like, what the fuck? Right? She done got the Mexican sisters caught up too. She's like, nah, you don't fuck with princella? I was like, baby, no ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am. Because, man, that shit was suspect from day one for me. It was suspect. And then to hear all of these women talking for hours and hours and hours, days and days and days, weeks and weeks, there ain't no shortage of YouTube videos and TikTok videos about Princella and her betrayal over the last 3 weeks or so. And all I could think about was the state. That's all I could think about. Like, this sounds like some police shit. It's the same thing that happened in the movement. These sisters would come into the movement with skills, you know, with resources, with enthusiasm, and then their experiences with brothers, very specific brothers, would run them off, and they'd be like, fuck that black power shit. Never again to do work in the service of black people. Don't that sound like some police shit? I mean, if it ain't police shit, they did a better job than the police could have done in terms of neutralizing black women away from black interests. You feel me? And I'm talking about black people because that's my experience, but I'm saying that's across the board. I have seen it in Native communities where women say verbatim the same thing that I'm saying right now, Native women, about their experiences with Native men in political organizations. I'm telling you word for freaking word the exact same thing that I'm saying now. Heard Mexican women say the exact Mexican women in Mexican nationalist organizations say the same thing I'm saying right now about my experience being in Black Power organizations. You feel me? What is the common denominator in all of those scenarios? Patriarchy, that's the common denominator. Patriarchal men in positions of leadership using whether it's cultural or spiritual or political ideologies to subdue and oppress women's power. That's the common denominator. That's the common denominator. Men have a role to play in the execution of the future, but the role that they have to play has to come off the end of a decision that they have to make. They have a decision to make. Everybody has a decision to make, but men in particular have a decision to make. Whose side are you on? Are you on the side of the future? And the future is led, shaped, and constructed by the aspirations of women. There ain't no escaping that. Whose side are you on? Are you on the side of the future or are you on the side of the past? Trying to hold the past together, trying to resurrect the past. trying to play the patriarch, and patriarchy is dead and it just don't know it yet. Patriarchy is dead, bitch, and it just don't know it yet. It just don't know it yet.
And it's about restoring. It's not, and I think sometimes people who may be listening for the first time, or people who may be, trying to find some type of medium, it's not about, men serving. It's about restoring the balance, restoring the women to their rightful place in history. When you look at I mean, we have enough information where we can see, life when the matriarchy was intact, as opposed to the rise of not just the rise of men, but what's the word,
The usurpation.
yeah, of major, and we can see just the differences. And so it's not people getting so caught up. It's about a union. It's about a restoration of the union, and men do have a role to play in the restoration of that union if we want to restore balance and harmony to to the world.
So when you're talking about balance and harmony, I really want to struggle that people hear what I am talking about when I talk about balancing and the restoration of harmony on earth. The role that men must play in the execution of this future that is directly tied to a return to the mother. The past and the future, like, wed, right? Because one of the things Abasi was just talking about, it's true. Yes, we're talking about the restoration of balance, but what does that mean? What does it look like practically? Because another thing that I'm seeing that is very concerning to me, and it feels very new, is like, and it feels very new. It's different, but it's the same. Remember in the book Communion, The Female Search for Love by Bell Hooks that I read, and there was a whole chapter on men, right? And she was talking about in the 60s and then the 70s, with the rise of the feminist movement, how these feminists who were also still heterosexual and wanted desired relationships with heterosexual men, and how these men attempting to support their feminist partners, like, in their mind, it was like this kind of weird response where the men would almost become like weak. In the book, she says the men that were supporting their feminist partners were becoming like punks. That was the word that she used, was like, and so it was turning us off because we still wanted men, but we wanted men who could take a righteous position. Like, we still wanted masculine men, strong men who could take a righteous position. That we didn't want them to become, weird versions of themselves, because they think in their mind that to become, a feminist is to become, quote, soft, or to become like a punk or something, right? She said it was this weird thing that unfolded in this time in the feminist movement that was a real discussion for women who were feminist and still heterosexual, still in intimate partner relationships with heterosexual men. That shit is showing its face again, where in order to be, an ally to women, or in order to be like about the goddess, or in order to be, I'm experiencing it probably more sharply because of where I live. I live in Hollywood. I live in Los Angeles, and everything is fucking weird out here, like to an extreme. You know what I'm saying? It's not organically weird, because I'm not opposed to weird. It's not like honestly weird or organically weird. It's like this weird trying or force. It's just weird. You feel me? It's just weird, and it doesn't feel authentic, the weirdness. You know what I mean? It feels performative, the weirdness, right? And so, but one of the ways that it's showing up is in these political spaces, man. Now, me, because I'm a heterosexual woman, I'm going into these political spaces. I'm like, where the men at? There's males there. There's always males in the space. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, where the men at? Like, to be an ally to a woman automatically in your mind, like, where does that computation take place? The other thing is that it's really interesting. I might get my ass kicked for this, but the other thing that's really interesting to me, I was thinking about the other day. I went to a punk rock show, yo. I went to a punk rock festival. That was the most gangster thing ever. From 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., punk rock on 4 stages, all motherfucking day, 50,000 people. And I'm peeping this crowd of 50,000 people. And baby, look, I was going to punk rock shows at 14, 15, 16 years old. I was like, what am I experiencing right now, child? What am I witnessing? This is bizarre, right? I'm gonna tell you what I thought. Because and I've heard not just this is not something that I've just been thinking on my own, but it's more pronounced now. I have had gay male friends of mine who are gay and who are the kind of gay that you don't know in presentation that they're gay unless they tell you. It's just who they are. You feel me? They're still like manly men. You know what I'm saying? Just like, yeah, I go work out. I go do this. I go do that. Whatever. I'm a man. And I'm gay. But it's not something that, and that's not to say that people who are more flamboyant, that ain't their thing, that's cool. You feel me? But again, it's like I have been experiencing this thing where I'll be honest. I asked myself today, I don't know why, something happened. I was like, damn, where are all the gay men who are like Alexander the Great? Like, this motherfucker was a roughneck, conquering shit and destroying shit and fighting wars and burly and shit. You feel? And he was gay and openly gay. You feel like, where are the guy? Who are the motherfuckers? The goddamn not the gladiators. Who is them dudes?
Spartans.
Oh, the what?
The Spartans.
The Spartans. These niggas was gay. You feel me? Like, wrecking shit. You feel me? Fighting wars, defending country and state and shit. Like, I'm being funny, but I'm being serious. I'm being serious. Okay? Like, I do not want people to get the idea that they cannot be their authentic self because now they have gotten hip to the mother, that they have, they have come into the embrace of the mother. Or I don't want them to internalize that somehow to be an ally to women is to become some mutant version of yourself where you cannot be masculine, that somehow masculinity is the issue. Masculinity is not your flaw. Masculinity is not your problem. Your problem is patriarchal understanding of masculinity. Because one of the things that stood out to me about the Great Cosmic Mother, when she was talking about in the earlier chapters, when she was talking about the societies of men, that the men too were worshipers of the goddess. The hunters, the gatherers, the warriors, they too were fully participatory worshipers of the mother. And so those things that they contributed to the whole, which was the hunting, that was their primary contribution to the whole, was the hunt. That they transformed the hunt into ceremony that was still a participatory project within the society of goddess worship. So when she talks about how when you go in the caves, you don't see women in the cave drawings, you see hunters in the cave drawings. You see hunters who have draped the skins of animals that they have killed in mimicking the animals in their peculiar relationship with the mother, their peculiar ceremony with the mother. How, and she talks about like all of the different rituals that they developed as a society of hunters, as a society of men, for their peculiar execution or execution of ceremony within goddess worshiping society. They were men. And men, people call it fluid. Okay, fine. They call, because somebody here says Willie Lynch letter changed gender where the divine men had. Let me read some of y'all comments. Y'all out here bugging about the conversation. Hold on, shit. Hold on. I am because we are says I've been trying to give princella grace, but she foul as fuck for taking people money like that. When I saw her membership fees, I knew what it somehow your thing messed up, but I'm assuming you're saying it. I knew what it was. Okay, and then I combat the silver tongue with my double-edged. Let's see, my two-edged sword tongue. She got to the Mexican first. Her first girlfriend was Hispanic. I didn't know that. What betrayal did she do? I thought they were still rocking with her. Nah, child, you late in the game. Get on your TikTok, child. Everybody dismayed and bewildered. They say she done sold out the clique, y'all. She done turned on the sisters. You feel me? I thought they were still rocking with her. B. Taylor did an interview on Tasha, and so did Priscilla. Tasha K exposed her ass low key. I've been trying to tell that to my mentor, but I can't because she's 80 years old. They are trying to mentor me on history and keeping the traditions alive. Okay, I would love to have known you at 26. Child, I was a whole ass mess. I'll be honest. Listen, my elders, my mentors, listen, we used to call it what do we call it in the movement? Shit. Yo, listen, what we used to call it was bleeding all over the place. You feel me? Like, because it was a whole thing about criticism and self-criticism. If you don't want to be criticized on your shit on the front end, you make the self-criticism, so ain't nobody got to call your ass out, right? And so it got to a point where I was bleeding all over the place, child. I was forever fucking up. When I was young in the party, I was forever fucking up. There is a reason, dear, that I am an excellent organizer. That people have called me from all over the country to organize their events. There's a reason. I garnered them skills the hard way because I stayed fucking up. My early years in the party, baby, I earned them skills. I was forever fucking They was forever getting in my shit. Comrade, now you know that was some fucking bullshit. Why you dropped the ball on that piece of work like that, comrade? They stayed in my shit. But you need that. You need that. You need the fuck ups, baby. Sometimes you need to learn the shit the hard way. Sometimes, theory is enough. It wasn't enough for me, boo. I needed to learn the shit the hard way. My first 3-4 years in the party was harsh. It was hard. I stayed though. I was like, the only way y'all motherfuckers getting rid of me, y'all killing me out this bitch. I'm dying in the party. I was serious. The only way I'll take the licks. Because the only way y'all getting rid of me is I'm dying up in this bitch. Feel me? Let's see. I feel like I'm at the stage of just shut up and listen and be around the culture until it's a part of me. Okay. Yes, ma'am. That is a very astute position. Yes. You missed the first part of yes. They're under a spell and they can't tell it's not authentic because it's programming. Yes. There are not a lot of non-playing characters in Hollywood to mass possession. Let me tell you, yes, to what you said in terms of sometimes we just need to not talk. We just need to not talk. I told y'all that story. The party, the chairman told me, don't talk on behalf of the party. I don't care who's asking. I don't care what they're talking to you about. You do not say nothing on behalf of the party until we say so. And then they watched me. They watched me do work. They watched me take on pieces of work. They watched me execute. They watched me fall on my ass. They watched me get back up and say, fuck that, I'm going to do it again. They watched me. And then one day, out of the blue, the chairman came to the store and was like, tomorrow you're going to lead the Sunday mass meeting. You ready? I was like, no, I ain't ready. He was like, well, tomorrow's your day. So get ready. You feel me? Y'all don't learn. Most of y'all don't learn that. Y'all don't have mentors that tell you to keep your fucking mouth shut. Absorb all that you can. I have a lot to give to you. Absorb all that you can. Then use your own personal experiences, your own worldview, your own life to integrate what I pour into you. I ain't telling you to forget who you are. I ain't telling you to follow me blindly. Take, because I'm fucking 50, take what I have learned, integrate with what you have learned, because what you have learned is valuable. Your unique life experience is valuable in the process of discernment. You see? But nobody want to shut the fuck up. Everybody want to be, what did Morgan call him? Everybody want to be Megamind. Want to have all this knowledge in their head that they ain't applied to shit in the real world, and want to challenge somebody 50 with grandkids. And have everybody sending me emails talking about, you sound like so-and-so. You sound like so-and-so who been on the scene and ain't busted a grape. Been on the scene 2 years, ain't busted a grape, but I sound like them. You feel me? No. God damn it. And I ain't even told y'all. I ain't even taught y'all nothing yet. I might just spend a whole month doing nothing but political education with y'all. I might bore the fuck out of y'all with just political education, because that's what y'all need. Somebody sending me a goddamn video telling me, listen to Princella, you sound like her. You need political education, baby. You need political education. That's what you need. Serious goddamn political education. You need to understand. Somebody sending me some shit talking about a message to the sun woman. Me? You need political education. You don't even know the base level shit. How you gonna propagate this shit? How you gonna send this shit out so millions and millions of people can see this shit? Bigging it up without prefacing, saying this message came from the Nuwapu Nation. So you need to know that. You need to know who Nuwapu is. You need to know who Melakar York is to put this message in some kind of context before taking a position about what it is you hear. All these women, hundreds of thousands of women. Oh my God, a message to the sun woman. This is so profound. It is not profound. It's propaganda, is what it is. It's propaganda. It is anti-woman, anti-Black woman, exploitative propaganda. And all I needed to do was read the title to know that. That's it. Why? Why would I have a problem with something called a message to the sun woman? Bitch, the sun is your son. God damn it. That's the first part. The sun is not the center. Sorry, the sun is not the center. That's what's got us in this mess in the first place, is centering the sun in the worship of God. That's what's got us in this mess in the first. As soon as I saw the title, I was like, oh Lord, what's this shit? As soon as I saw the title, I was like, here we go with the bullshit, y'all. God damn. I said, you know what? Let me move out my way and go ahead and watch the shit. I knew from the title, but y'all don't listen. Y'all don't listen. Because the whole great cosmic mother is talking about the first thing that happened, that concretized in the minds of the many, the transition of power from the mother to the son, was centering the sun in deity worship. The S-U-N, centering the sun. Up until that point, for 25,000 years, everybody, men, women, and all the genders in between, and all the races on the planet, worshipped and centered the moon as the personification of the different faces and phases of the mother moon, of the goddess. All I had to see was the message to the sun woman. I was like, here we go with this bullshit. Some cute little fucking trumped up way to again center the sun, to again center the penis, to again center the man and dress it up like it's goddess worship shit. I'm just saying. That's all I needed to see was the title.
It just sounded so. It sounds like a bad Hollywood kind of written Like it just doesn't even make any sense.
What did you think? I sent you the video. You didn't even tell me what you think.
Yeah, it was
Come on, keep your blood raw. We up in here blood raw now.
it was painful, and like like yo, if you can't see this, like we have to do a better. But actually, you know what? But on the flip side, you know what I mean, looking at it from a holistic perspective,
Please do.
it was a positive thing because it lets us know where, you know, we have to pay more attention to. You know, like people need to be able to tell, like, tell when somebody trying to bring you a move. You know.
What was the song? I think it was on Sesame Street. One of these things is not like the other.
Hell no! It's like you can tell just, and plus, it was like I think you touched on it earlier. People understand and manipulate, you know, like the African psyche in particular. You know what I mean? Like they know we like the, like you said, the pomp and the words
Yes.
and the vernacular, the cadence. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
The tone, the ambiance. Like we like,
The costume, the
right? We like
flair,
it. Yeah,
the
we really
swag.
like that, right? So they
Yes.
kind of tap into that, you know. And but we
Yes.
have to, but when, like I said, this means that we have to do a better job of being able to identify, being able to question, being able to, you know, like you said, know what school or what cloth these people came from.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. I appreciate that, by the way. I appreciate that. And again, I want to reiterate that anybody that felt some kind of way watching these videos, watching the message to the Sun Woman, watching any other of these things, it is not my intention to make you feel less than or stupid or anything like that. Like I said in the very beginning, we are always all in different stages of our becoming, all of us. And so that's one, if not the main reason, that I have treaded lightly on how I approach certain issues. Like, I tread lightly because my intention is never to hurt someone's feelings or to make people feel like stupid. I am always recognizing. That's why I said we're infants, we're babies. Some people are babies in their walk, and you have to be gentle with babies. You have to be gentle with infants. But I do also know that sometimes you have to be stern because people will rock confidently in their ignorance. They will hold hard to that which they don't know but swear they do. And that's what I have been experiencing. Is this like this my position? You feel me? And I'm like, one, you don't have enough information to allow you to be as astute in your discernment as you could be. Okay. Even when people, I am sometimes uncomfortable when people talk about their intuition because they talk about their intuition as if it's something that's not embodied. Your intuition is informed by your life experiences, always. Those experiences that you consciously are aware of, as well as that information that you are taking in and processing subconsciously all the time. That is what informs your intuition. It's what establishes patterns and behaviors. That's what informs your intuition. If you do not have the experiences or the information that helps steal that intuition, all you can do is go on what you've been exposed to. That's all you can do until you have more information. And then that information becomes a part of your intuitive defense mechanisms. Okay. And so I'm not trying to make anybody feel stupid if they felt moved by this video, the message to the Sun Woman. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to say, how do you listen to a person's words, understand their history or their relationships, and what it means to you right now in the current? So when you listen, when you go back now and listen to the message to the Sun Woman, right? Given what we've talked about all this time, right? Go back and listen to it. Now that you know about how pomp and circumstance is used to exploit us, used to betray us, used to distract us, how cadences and, you know, extra language, like studying preachers like Jim Jones did. You feel me? Like studying the performance and the iambic pentameter that gets people in their feelings and emotions about what I'm saying and all of that dumbass shit. You feel me? Now that you know how our collective enemy uses this information that they have about us and how we are moved, how we are stimulated, how we are won by our hearts, through our hearts, the things that we need to feel connected to spirit, the way we think that spirit shows up in performance with freaking Nefertiti headdresses and shit. You feel me? Like we need these things in order for the evidence of spirit to be real, and how the state knows that and uses that to manipulate you. Right? Now that you know that, now that you know the history of Nuwapu and Malachi York and the diabolical, monstrous motherfucking human being that he was, do you think anything that this woman was saying as a follower of Malachi York is separate from his behavior in the real world as the creator of and the leader of Nuwapu? And this is the platform that she is delivering this message of the Sun Woman within the context of being an active member at the time of the Nuwapian nation. And what they was about was still the subjugation of women, the harming of women, the harming of children. His motherfucking son set a baby on fire, raped, took advantage sexually of this little girl, and then tried to kill her. And she lived after he set her on fire. And that's how his ass ended up in prison. Well, she was able to finger him for this atrocity against her. But you think this message to the Sun Woman is separate from the motherfuckers who were the founders and initiators of this institution. They are not. They are not. She is the parrot used to attract other women because this shit sound good. This message to the Sun Woman sound beautiful. Yapo, this shit sound like some shit you would say. Cassandra, this shit sound like some shit you would say. And he uses the woman to cast the net, to reel in other ignorant women. And when I say ignorant, I mean women who have not had the education, the life experience, the historical understanding of who Malachi York was, where he hails from, what his relationship is to other organizations that were equally abusive to women, because he has a whole history. A lot of these dudes do. The nations of gods and earth, Nuwapu, the Hebrew Israelites, they all have a connection. But if you don't know that, because that ain't your thing, you will forever be betrayed by a slick talking motherfucker with a silver tongue, calling you sistren or goddess or empress or whatever gets your boat floating at any given time. And they will use women to woo you. I read the title, The Message to the Sun Woman, and I was like, this is that bullshit ass bullshit. I'll put money on it. I put money on it. I was like, but you know what? Let me get a bullshit the benefit of the doubt. You feel me? Why I keep extending the benefit of the doubt? When my motherfucking red flag alert system was going to fuck off left and right, why this girl got a goddamn Nefertiti hat on? And don't get me wrong. There are African-centered things that I love. I've got a 6 foot by 3 foot papyrus on teak wood of the goddess Ma'at right over my TV. I got another 6 foot by 4.5 foot papyrus of the judgment of Ma'at in my bathroom. You see this? I just designed our temple logo, which is the Ouroboros with the cosmic egg on the center. I'm all about our culture and the emblems of our culture. But what is evolution really? What does it look like in the real world? A dogmatic hog tying to something that existed 2,500 years ago? Dress, headwear. You will never find me, no shade to anybody that do, but I will not be the one wearing no motherfucking Nefertiti hat in goddamn Los Angeles, California, talking about trying to lead y'all somewhere. God damn it. I'm just saying. Do not get caught up in the flash of this bullshit. It will fucking betray you every time. You can be the goddess fully embodied just as you are. Just as you are.
And
Honesty is what allows that to happen. Integrity is what allows that to happen. Giving a damn about human beings, even if they get on your nerves, extending them grace, recognizing where they are in their walk to the fulfillment of their own personal destiny, extending sovereignty, respecting their sovereignty in real time. That's what allows the goddess to come in. Yo, pomp, baby, I can promise you that the pomp and circumstance is not where she is. Jesus said that, by the way. Jesus said that, by the way, for those of you who still holding on to that shit. Jesus, he didn't go on to church kicking over tables and shit for no reason. He said, y'all are the keepers of the tradition, the Pharisees and the Sadducees. It's y'all shit. Y'all know all the prayers. Y'all know all the dances. Y'all know all the customs, all the songs, all the pomp and circumstance, what colors to wear, on what days. Y'all know all this. Y'all are the keepers of the tradition that has existed for 4,000 years. Why y'all up in here with this bullshit? What y'all doing up in here in the temple? That's what your Jesus said. He said, what the fuck is going on up in here? What's going on in the temple? Y'all are who the people come to gain access to the traditions of their ancestors, and y'all turn this shit into a goddamn gambling den or some shit. And then what did he say? What did Jesus say when he started cutting the whole ass up in the cutting the whole clown up in the temple? What did he say? Knocking over shit, throwing over shit. He is like, I don't know what the fuck going on up in here, but my father does not live here. My father don't live up in here. He says, as a matter of fact, y'all motherfuckers come on out here under this tree with me. See that rock right there? Lift that rock up. There he is. That's what Jesus said. Come out in this field. That's where God is. Right up under that rock right there. That's where God is. God is everything that we see. That's what he said. See, I am because we are understood. You know what you see what she say, Abasi? She's saying, Malachi York. Really? Whoa, that name made me cringe. She know. But if you don't know, you'll fall for any motherfucking thing. You'll have 150,000 women watching a message to the sun woman, bigging that bullshit up, thinking it's about something. I knew in my spirit I would. Girl, you better listen. You better do some research before you start bigging up some bullshit.
So you the son and the woman?
Yo. That's why I said, I know y'all, listen, I know it feels nice to hear shit, especially Mary Daly, because Mary Daly keep us in our feelings. You feel me? I get it. You feel me? But Mary Daly was clear. And the reason it be feeling like punishment when we read Mary Daly is because she be jacking us in our job all the time, telling us don't fall for the bullshit. That's what she be saying all the time. Don't fall for the okie doke. This is all the ways they dress up this bullshit. Don't she be saying that all the time? She be telling us, oh, you think you progressive, woman? Let me show you the ways you ain't progressive, woman. In here. I'm like, damn, is she talking about me? Was she just talking about this shit right here? Was she talking in this last section that we just read yesterday, day before yesterday, and beyond God the Father? She is like, listen, don't fuck up and let the state turn you into a traitor of women, woman. She's talking to women. Listen, if you fall for the okie doke, even if you are not conscious of it. That's what she said. You don't have to be aware. You don't have to be willing. Because of the conditioning, the state knows how to turn your punk ass woman into a goddamn traitor of women. That's what she said. I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Listen. What is her behavior, princella, if it is not that of a betrayer of women? And if she is a betrayer of women, what does that mean? It means she has not just betrayed women, she has betrayed the fucking future, Abasi. That's what it means. It means she has betrayed. What you always saying? We always one nigga away from freedom. That's the nigga today. The nigga today that is impeding our freedom. It's her today. Tomorrow it'll be somebody else. Tomorrow it'll be some other black skinned woman with nappy ass hair. You feel me? That's Abasi saying. Trademark that shit. We always one nigga away from freedom. You feel me? Somebody is going to volunteer themselves to sabotage our future. How well organized are we gonna be to preserve it? It's her today. You feel me? And I'm telling you, you do not have to be conscious to be a betrayer of the people, to be a betrayer of the future. You don't have to be conscious of it. That's how fine tuned and well oiled this machine is that we in. I'm sitting here watching this shit last night about how these motherfuckers can predict your behavior based on what you do, based on what you have done. They don't have to see you. They don't have to meet you. All they have to do is go to your social media, use AI, and collect everything you've ever posted, everything you've ever said, every freaking thing you've ever purchased online, and can predict your behavior in any scenario. And they showed on these AI goddamn thing that I said, "Hold, are we ready for this contest? Are we ready for this shit?" But to know is to know how to prepare, because that shit still don't sway me. It still don't sway me. I tell you one thing this dude said last night that struck me. I was like, oh shit. He said, in the age of AI, where data is the new oil. Listen, he said, in the age of AI, where data is the new oil, China is the new Saudi Arabia. I said, oh, fuck. Woo. I said, wait a minute, what? Yo. Now, let me tell you about this dude. His ass is Chinese. His parents saw the writing on the wall and sent his ass to motherfucking America. Sent him to go to school at MIT. He became the Chinese head of Google. He is the reason that they say China is the most surveilled community, the most surveilled population on Earth. On Earth. You understand? This nigga said, look, like we used to be the copycats. We used to take and copy our technology, you feel me? And then just perfect it or whatever. He said, but we done way got the fuck ahead of y'all. You feel me? He's like, look, the truth be told, now because he's the only one of all these tech people talking about like the pros and the cons of AI. He said, make no mistake, by the year 2030, 50% of jobs will be automated. AI will be taking over 50% of jobs. That's just what it is. He said, doesn't mean that people will not have the ability to sustain themselves. They just need to prepare that so many of the jobs that they are doing now will be automated. And so it means that they have to be flexible about what it is they're willing to do to earn a living. Nobody else is saying that. They're always talking about this flowery, beautiful future for AI or whatever. He's like, but this you should know. There ain't no information, not just in China, anywhere on Earth that we don't have access to and are not actively using in order to understand how our AI is going to evolve over the next 20 years. He said, and in the age of AI, where data is the new oil, China is the new Saudi Arabia. I said, God damn. Okay. That shit was fire. That shit was fire. That's the kind of shit we need to be watching. I was like, that's it. That's the shit we need to be watching. They talked about this kid here, fucking California. This kid is 24 years old and the CEO of a major corporation that is on the front end of the automation of the what do they call it? The automation of the entire trucking industry. This kid at 24 years old built the first fully unmanned diesel truck that is already making loads and drops on I-10, unmanned, no people in the cabin. Right now. He said we got all these companies that are already using it because they ain't got to pay no driver. Plus, the drivers can only work by law, by federal law, 11 hours a day. But you get a diesel truck that can drive itself, they can work 24 hours a day. And it costs less than hiring a driver. So there's one company in Florida is already, one company in Florida, one company in Georgia has already got 50% of their trucks automated, unmanned, riding down I-10. So it's not your imagination and it ain't no ghost. If you look up into the goddamn cabin of a goddamn diesel truck and there ain't nobody driving that motherfucking truck. They're already on the road right now. This kid is 24 and the CEO of this goddamn corporation. And so when I'm talking about what is it that the temple of evolutionary needs of evolutionary emergence need to be doing, we need to be galvanizing the enthusiasm and the imagination of young people so that they can see that their skills can go into building this future. I'm like, I need to know this kid. I'm not gonna build no AI. I ain't got them kind of smarts and them skills, and I ain't trying to learn that shit. I need to be winning in the mind of a 24-year-old how this technology can not just quote like automate the fucking labor pool, but how what I am saying, how AI is nothing for us to fear. AI can liberate human beings from labor. But what does it mean to liberate humans from labor? It means that the profit made from automatic labor is not something that just by default automatically goes to some singular motherfucker who, quote, owns the corporation. And so whatever profit is made off these, quote, automated laborers just default goes to him. No, there needs to be caps everywhere on the amount of wealth that people can acquire. And that those profits still generated from automated labor are distributed among communities. So they did this whole thing. I ain't gonna go that deep into it. It might be another live, but like going from city to city, state to state, all of these communities that have toppled into the goddamn ground because they're toppled into the ground because their primary economy has gone fully automated. So they were talking about this one city. I don't remember what city it was. A city in Michigan, maybe Detroit. I don't know. One city in Michigan where the majority of the car making business that generations of families had come up in that secured them a life, and working at the plant, you could send your kids to school and you could buy a house. And now the city is damn near dying because the majority of the businesses are automated, fully automated, making the cars and all this shit. You've got 2 or 3 people like actually working, but the whole factory is automated. That is, so the profits are still generated. The cars are still being made, but now the people hate the automation. But what should have happened is the profit goes to the entire community, goes to the entire city, goes to the entire community. Go ahead.
No, but just to piggyback, isn't that like a double robbery? Because they're getting the money from the less labor and they're making, so you don't gotta, it's like they're making a double profit.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. And so, but I'm gonna tell you, it's insidious, Abasi. And I may have to do a whole live on it, but like I might do that where I collect all the movies, at least maybe of the last 50 years, teaching us to fear AI, teaching us to fear robots, teaching us to fear this future where somehow the future is synonymous with a majority starving public because machines have taken over everything. Can't nobody get no job. I gotta fight a machine for a job. Bitch, you have been duped. You have been duped. That a job is what defines you. A job is what is supposed to secure you. You cannot see that AI is the technological leap forward that would finally liberate humans from fucking hard labor, right? And so the reason why is because billionaires don't want you to see this future where AI can benefit the many and there's nobody suffering. Right? There's no need for babies to be going into goddamn diamond mines and shit or fucking digging for gems in the middle of goddamn Madagascar somewhere. Now we have machines, automatic labor that can do, quote, the brunt work of human beings, liberating their higher selves, right? But if you have a select few who own the entire means of production, but you still require, because what's the point? Let me ask, what is the point of someone like, what's his name? Elon Musk, on the one hand, talking about the crisis of the lowering birth rate. People ain't having enough babies. People ain't having enough babies. On the one hand. But on the other hand, he is ahead of this curve of like the automation of the production of it, particularly his car. Like, but he's also doing the whole AI shit, but like putting computer chips in people's brains and shit. Like the guy who volunteered himself to be the first one to ever have a computer chip put in his brain, Elon Musk did that shit to this dude. You feel me? The dude volunteered, whatever. Right. So like on the one hand, he's like a real proponent of the automation of the workforce and this, that, and the other. And on the other hand, people ain't having enough babies. But if you're trying to automate the workforce, right? If you're trying to create machines to take over the function of, quote, human labor, especially since you produce these cars and these factories and shit, like why would it be a crisis if people aren't having more babies for you? If in the general scheme of things, at least historically, humans have been, the raw materials, like Barbara Morris, they've been the raw materials for cheap labor, right? Cheap labor and cannon fodder. They fight your wars and do your labor for next to nothing. Like that's what they're for. So why would you be concerned if people ain't having enough babies, if you're going to automate the workforce in the first place? It's not a rhetorical question, because he is suspect. To me, he is a prime example of like this dualism, this hidden, insidious, dualistic, like behavior and narrative that people are not digging deep into. Why would you be concerned with the autonomous? Like if that's your primary goal is the automation of the workforce, then why would you be concerned about, quote, whether or not people are not having enough babies? It wouldn't make you know, never mind whether they was having babies or not. If your future aspirations and your very near future aspirations is to have as many automated robots making your cars, spinning them out as possible, you don't need the blood, sweat, and tears. But we're talking about capitalism. We're talking about imperialist capitalism. And we're talking about a more insidious, maybe even kind of spiritual thing, like the exploitation of human energy, of human fear, of human energy, of human despair. I don't know. This is some shit I got to walk with. But I don't trust billionaires. Not one. There's no such thing as a good billionaire. I don't trust one. And so when I start hearing billionaires talking about, oh my God, the crisis of the lowering birth rate, I know it's suspect. I know it's suspect why they're saying that. I know it's suspect. There are 8 billion people on the planet. If people stop having babies for the next 10 years, if people said pump the brakes for 10 years, ain't nobody stop, don't pass go. Ain't nobody having babies for 5 years. Ain't nobody having babies for 5 years. Like the earth need a break. There's 8 billion motherfuckers on the planet. You know what I'm saying? But the main people who would be screaming about a decision that we made to stop having babies for 5 years until we can fix some shit would be billionaires. Why? Because it ain't just Elon Musk. Bill Gates done said it. What's his name? Jeff Bezos done said it. Why y'all ain't having no babies? Why everybody? Korea going through it right now. South Korea going through it right now. Why y'all bitches not having no babies? You feel me? And isn't it interesting? It's always been talking about why y'all ain't having no babies. What does it mean when women start saying we ain't having no babies? If the origin of the emergence of patriarchy was the turning, the transforming of goddess in the flesh into a cow, whose sole purpose was the production and reproduction of real life for the machine, for men. She is reduced to a personal possession of an individual man who serves the state in any given time, in any given personification. She becomes the bartering chip for whom powerful men can barter off their daughters for power and wealth. You feel me? So that's why billionaires be talking that bullshit. Why y'all bitches ain't having no babies? Because that's the subtext. Why y'all the lowering birth rate in every country. Oh my God. I just watched this whole thing last night about Italy. Because I got a little boo in Italy. You feel me? And I was like, you know what? I might go to Italy this year and see my little boo. And I was like, going through YouTube trying to find some shit about traveling to Italy. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, it brings up some shit about the crisis in Italy. They talk, what is the name of this damn documentary? Say, Italy is dead. That was the name of it on YouTube. Italy is dead. I said, oh shit. Because y'all know I be talking about Italy too because of this goddess thing. I'm trying to go to Rome, you feel me? And bogart the goddamn Vatican and shit, you know what I'm saying? Rescue the goddamn Black Madonna and shit. I'm trying to liberate the Black Madonna, you feel me? Get her out of the goddamn chokehold of the goddamn Pope and shit, you feel me? And so I see this damn documentary last night talking about Italy is dead. I was like, what? The whole thing was about how Italy has the lowest birth rate of any European country. That at this, it was deep, yo, because Italy has this like wonderful retirement program where the government takes care of the retirees. They have a low retirement age. And so not only does Italy have the lowest birth rate in Europe, it has the highest I guess elderly population, the greatest elderly population. Chad, they take such good care of their old people in Italy with their pensions and they state this and that and this and such, that over the last 30 years, the life expectancy of the aging population went from 65 to 90 in 30 years. That's the life expectancy, 90 years old. And the catch is not only are people not having babies in Italy, when young people are born, as soon as they graduate high school, they leave. They like, fuck Italy. We can't get no jobs. 30% of the income of a young person in Italy, 30% goes to the programs that take care of the aging population, the retired population. 30% of their income. They said it. The way that this pension income works in Italy is that it is the youth that care for the old. And so when you don't have a population like Italy, where the birth rate should be 2.5 babies per household to have an incoming population that takes care of the aging population, that takes care of the old economically, 30% of what they earn goes to the aging. And so they're like, fuck that, we out of here. As soon as we old enough to work, we out of here. I said, oh shit. Yo, that documentary was something else, child. They said it this way, because not only are people leaving, they done extended the life expectancy of the old people 30 years. The life expectancy in Italy is 90. 90. When they say life expectancy, that's the average life expectancy. In the United States, it's like what? 70 for men and 75 for women? Child, they living. Them old people is living. Plus, the old people make up the majority of the voters. So Italy has this far right, like, government right now. It's like far right, like the white girl that is crazy because you were looking over the cabinet of Italy. This white girl that just took the seat, like the prime minister or some shit like that, a couple of years ago, who is far right, like way far right. They say that her family has ties to Mussolini, like that far right, right? So she is sitting in this cabinet, and she's the only woman in the cabinet, and she in the cabinet floor, and she's probably she looked like she might be younger than me. She looked like she might be in her mid 40s, early mid 40s, right? Maybe, right? And everybody else around her is these old ass men in the whole cabinet. I I said, this shit is revealing. Child, they are pulling out the stops. They putting women in positions of power that they know are going to do the bidding. They know that they're going to parrot the aspirations and the aspirations and all of that of patriarchy. And she fell right in line. Like, I'm cute, I'm blonde, I'm still good looking. And she took that shit, and she is diabolical. She is like, they talking about like doing away with like, birth control, all the things, all the shit we hear in here, all the shit we're hearing here. You feel me? So yeah, y'all should watch that one. Italy is dead. That's the name of it. Italy is dead. It was really revealing. It was really revealing because it was just such an extreme echo on a smaller scale. So it's more obvious when it's small and condensed, like a little Italy. A smaller scale, I was like, this is America. Broad day, broad daylight. You feel me? Where the relationship between church and state is so intimately related, even though they feign this separation, because Italy does the same thing. It feigns this separation between church and state, between the influence of the Roman Catholic Church, the Vatican, on the general, on the general political and economic outlook. But one of the things where they were talking about was like 15,000 young people a year leave Italy. 15,000 a year leave Italy, go into Germany, France, and someplace else to find work because they can make a lot more money with the skills that they have. So they're saying Italy, listen to this, is experiencing a brain drain. Now, for those of you who don't know, brain drain has typically been used to, talk about colored countries, particularly Africa, where they go and gobble up all the, all of the highly educated, highly skilled people from so-called third world countries to bring them to European countries. They call it a brain drain. This is the first time I've ever heard brain drain used. Am I breaking up? Yes. Am I breaking up? Abasi. Am I breaking up?
No, you good.
Okay. Yeah, they're talking about Italy is experiencing a brain drain. 15,000 educated young people leaving Italy every year to find work in other countries. Yeah. So it's interesting. They're like, if things keep going the way that it is and people stop having babies, the commentator said that there's no incentive for people to have babies in Italy. It's too expensive to have children. It's not like there's free childcare. The old people, there's a gang of old people, but the old people don't take care of the babies, but want the young people who work to take care of them. So I said, anyway, I know it was a lot. Let's see. Let me read through some of these. Y'all got a lot of comments that I have been missing. Hold on. I think I got let's see. And then I'm going to get up out of here. Let's see, witches and warlocks. Whenever they say they graduated or affiliated with Toastmaster, laugh my ass off. They scamming. Public speakers, motivational speakers. It's an art like pastors. Malachi York, yep, cringe for sure. Goddess Essence Energy, how you doing, boo? Somebody said, what princella do now? Let's see. I do some now. Power says, do you ever have call-ins? I do sometimes. I would love that. Teach, goddess teach, fear of a black planet, global warming, population control, mind control. Time to upload a new download. Such perversion using women to hurt vulnerable ones. Yep. Yeah, somebody was talking about what I was saying about Elon Musk. Yeah, he's suspicious. Suspicious is an understatement. He got diabolical written all over him. Again, this is where political education comes in, because you can always predict how a person, What did the chairman used to say all the time? You can always predict, like you got a crystal ball, how a person will move based on their material interests. You don't have to be a witch. You don't have to have a literal crystal ball. All you have to do is understand political history to always understand how a person will move based on their material interest. That shit, they don't waver from that shit. They don't waver from that shit. I don't have, but I know Elon Musk's background. I know his family's background. I know their origins of. I know the origins of their wealth in apartheid South Africa in emerald mines to understand who he is and what he will always do. Where his material interests lie is in the where his foundation is, where the foundation of their wealth is in the exploitation of others, is in the theft of wealth of others. So you can always predict how he gonna move and how anything he says is suspect because there's been no rectification for this. There's been no reconciliation or rectification for his family's origins of their wealth. So they're always going to move in a way that supports and upholds their material interests. You feel what I'm saying? You don't have to be a soothsayer to see that. All you got to do is understand history to know that. That's why it's important to be watching these documentaries about Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. To know who they are is to know what they will do. And all of them corrupt. All of them suspect. Jobs, Gates, Days, everybody, all of them. They all suspect. AI is helping me write my book, run my website, manage my business with my supervision, of course. It's a power tactic over our bodies. Yes. Tyrants, no trust the billionaires. They use us and rob us. True. It's called divorce, disrespectful Catholic culture, and is rotten to the core. They need babies to buy products, innocent victims, blah, blah, blah. Yes, all these things. So I'm going to wrap it up. I didn't intend to be on here that long, but that's always what I say. And this is always what happened. I'm glad y'all rocked with me, stayed on as long as I did. Hopefully, I communicated the message that I was on here to communicate, which is what? They not like us, and I'm not like them. Discernment is what allows you to see that. So I would implore you that before you feel compelled because somebody says something pretty and happen to slide the word Sybil, the great mother, the great goddess, the great cosmic mother, anything like that, the matriarchy, because they happen to slide them buzzwords, them catchphrases into some shit they saying, before you send that shit to me, do some homework. Google their name and see who they are. See what their life is outside of the YouTube channel. And then if you say, oh yeah, I think that motherfucker about that life, then send me the link. Other than that, please don't. Just because, please don't. Because it's been that type of shit. It's been, if it's a documentary that might help to inform me of some shit, because I still learn every day. I try to learn something new every day. That's my position. So if it's a documentary, cool. If it is some historical accountants of something, awesome. If it is a movie that you think that I should review, fine. If it's somebody in their personal YouTube channel and they happen to slide them catchphrases in it, you research them before you send it to me. Okay. Okay. All right. I love you all. Abasi, this was fun. I like having you on here. This was awesome.
Yeah, it was. It was fun. I'm sorry, guys. It's like almost 4 o'clock in the morning.
I'm going to. I know it's way late where you at. This was fun. I appreciate you for it. And everybody else, we'll do this again sometime soon, maybe at a more decent hour for the comrade. But just so you know, this brother Abasi, the gorilla of the matriarchs, is yes, he is on the founding committee of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. He's been rocking with me for a long time. So big him up. You understand? And in the meantime, tell people how they can get in touch or find out about Ujima.
You can go to uppmaryland.org. Ujima is on Facebook and Instagram and all that good stuff.
I appreciate you.
All right. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Good night, everybody, and we'll see you again soon. Peace.